Thank you very much, everybody. We had like a silent intro there. Thank you, people in the chat, for letting me know that you couldn't hear me. Yeah, you were correct. The mic was broken. Let me know if you can hear me now. I'm just going to run through my intro again. So, welcome back, everybody. 8 o'clock on the 14th of March. It's a Friday, and the weekend is coming. I think you can hear me now. Yeah, nice one, guys. Hello, Kirk. Hello, Full Dive Media. Hello, Apolloni Art. Hello, Fernicar. Thank you all for dropping in and hanging out. Let me just see. Yes. If you are watching live or if you're watching later, don't forget to join our Discord. Lots of cool information. Get stuck in. Thanks to everybody for contributing. I've got my coffee. Now let's get back to what I was talking about. Right. So I started this channel way back about a year ago in 2024, February. I think my first model that I uploaded to Civet was beginning of 2023. And in 2022, none of this existed. But I've been full-time the whole time. And when I picked 5 Below 5, I just thought it was a cool name. And there was no real reason why I picked that particular name. However, I now have the trademark for Scuffed Epoch. And as a result, I've been selling hats and I've been making books. Basically, it's like a merch trademark and also educational materials. And everything that we do here on 5 Below 5 is educational materials. So essentially... Oh, and there is another reason for this. You can't find me if you're in America because there's a thrift store called 5 Below 5. So if you search for me, you just get that. And they're big. And like I say, they don't exist in the UK or Europe. So basically, I've come up with a wild plan. Okay. The idea, and this is risky because obviously, you know, we're a year old and we're doing great. The channel growth is looking really good. But the thing is, I got to rebrand. So the idea is straightforward. All the website gets copied to Scuffed Epoch. I don't think I can rename the Discord, so I'll probably just leave it. You know what I mean? But the basic idea is I got to rebrand as Scuffed Epoch, so it's going to be a bit tough. I'm a little bit lucky in that some of the stuff isn't actually branded with 5 Below 5. It's like Mushroom Fleet, my old accounts. But yeah, it's going to be a bit tough, like I say, because there's a big risk that you just basically destroy the entire channel's growth. But it's got to be done because we're never getting anywhere. If, like, honestly, I was looking at the SEO and we don't exist, basically. So, which is nice for some reasons, I guess, but moving forward, it's not good for growth, like, you know. So that's the plan. The idea is run both websites at first, look into rebranding the channel. It's going to be a bit chaotic, but it's the best thing we can do. So yeah, that's going to be fun. But basically that means all new assets need to be created, all that good stuff. But what are we doing tonight? See, that's why I said on the live stream, you know, rebrand begins. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm going to do any of it now, right? Like I say, it's Friday night. I want to hang out with everybody. Like. Oh, speaking of the hangout, that video is going to get edited and it'll go up over the weekend. So that's where we're at on that one. So let's get comfy loaded and see. Look, I've got my NAS drive. Hooray! So it might be time to actually peel through some of this stuff and see what we can find here. But yeah, I hope that makes sense, guys. The only thing that's on the Scuffed Epoch website right now. Oh, that's the thing. I have legal ownership of Scuffed Epoch as a trademark, right? So it's much more protected. So if I change over the channel now, yeah, there might be some short-term pain, but the long-term benefit, it secures the channel long-term. Oh, you mean .com, .shop and stuff? Yeah, I have some of those things. Right. So let me just see. Where are we? Where are we at? What are we doing tonight? Well, I thought it would be fun to have a look at some of that audio reactive stuff. We've got all these videos we've been making, and like I said, I've just got them organized on here. That damn NAS file not being available was a pain. Oh, and also, you know the training tool I was running? It turns out that it doesn't understand that my memory... it's like, you can't do FP8, it said. You can't do FP8. So, and I've tried loads of things to try and get that working. Nobody's talking about it, so it's a bit strange. Don't know quite why that is, so still looking into that, you know. Right, so let's get comfy open. Obviously, Centre de l'Amour, Hieronymus Bosch, Rainbow Beasts, they're all out. I keep thinking that there was some models which I was supposed to redo. Ah, yeah. Right. See, this is what happens. You start, when you start, you just can't stop. So let's have a look at some of these, shall we? What's in here? Ooh. All the Jovian World stuff. So that would be a Thora retrain, potentially. Anime KZK V2. I feel like that was too much. Oh, these are outputs. These are outputs? Rejected. Blind testing. Aha. Refined captions for training 2. Look at all them. That's a data set, that is. Oh, look at that. 1.5 gigabytes for Thora Public. And then Thora Lite. Oh, hold up. Did I just find Thora Lite? I think I did. Okay. Haha, side quest. Side quest activated. Let's go. What the? Right in the middle of my backswing? Okay. Okay, and we're gonna say Thora Lite. Okay. Extract all. Yup. Now, the interesting thing about this data set is it has short captions, and they're actually a caption route. Now, I did a little talk about this in a previous stream, so let me just talk about this, because I've actually got like a live example to show you. All right, so the caption route, close up, which is modular, that may or may not be there. That depends on it. It's a close-up. It's a close-up. It's a close-up, right? So they have close-up, but not all of them will. Wait, maybe they all will. The point is, close-up, and then anime KZK woman. That's the trigger. With red hair, wearing spy suit portrait is a phrase. And then black and white outfit to denote the actual color of whatever's going on here. Okay. And the reason it says that is to be consistent with the other data. So if I go to sneaking, anime KZK woman with red hair, see how modular it is? It's like groups of words. Sneaking inside a sci-fi mega tower. Again, lots of the scenes, it's the same words in the same order, but branching. And then the last part is like, oh, bright lights in the background. But we're going to make it way better than that. Sneaking inside, holding a gun. Is she? Oh yeah, she is holding a gun. Okay. There's another one. Stairs leading up to a second floor, right? So I wish there was a way I could prompt it, so I could give it the prompt I have, so that it won't say the same thing again. But my plan is to use append mode. So we're not going to wipe out the captions this time. We're going to use append mode, and we're going to try and save over the top. Okay? And it's going to take a little bit of doing, but it'll make sense. So if I go to my DJC workflows, we go to PhotoFlux, and we go to the captioning tools, and then we grab the Quen 25VL image captioner. Let's just download that, jump in, and hello. So now I've got something we can work with. So the first thing is I'm going to need the path. So let's just grab, is this actually an unzip? Yeah, it is. So if we grab this, sneaking, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to do, because there's a trick to this, right? So I'm going to say Thora Light QVL, and this might be too big. We might have to curate the data set because they reduced the batch size from 4 to 2, and it might be that there's actually too many images. I remember this one was quite tight. So we've got the path in, we've got 0, so let's just see. There we go, we've got our first image. All right, now do you know what, hang on a minute, no way. But it doesn't output the file name text. Damn. I was just sat here going, hang on a minute, I could use my image prompt. I can't. Image prompt. I could have used my image prompt v2, right? Put the data set in here, and it would have given me the image and the thing. And then what I'm about to do would be even easier, because we're going to append, right? We're going to append, obviously. We're going to go append, and no, not new line. So yeah, so what should happen is the description will get put onto the end of the existing caption, and then it will use the same file name as the original file name. Do you know what I need to do? I need to make a v3 that has the option of outputting the current file name. See, we're always improving stuff, aren't we? Hang on, I'm going to write that down. We'll probably do that in a minute. This is what happens. ZIPv3 file name output. We'll see if we need anything else. Okay. Hello Emily, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. And hello Electrolab. Hello, hello. I didn't see you guys. See, I'm like got my nose in the bucket right now. So we'll come back to that later. Let's just use what we know works for now. Describe this image in a single paragraph. Yes. See, what I would like is I would like the ability to pass in the prompt so that it's aware of what I've already said. Oh my gosh, how do I say that? Latojas. Sheesh. Welcome, welcome. That's part of my intro, you know. The sheesh. Gotta love it. So what we're going to do then, we've got to make sure this is correct as well. So matter of fact, we don't even need to do this. Slight modification. Because think about it, we're going to be using the caption already has a trigger, so we don't need trigger. We also don't need the append. So what I propose is we just go straight into the text, because we're going to be appending, right? So in other words, building on top of those initial triggers which we already have put in manually, because these were done manually, you see. So they weren't done with a machine. They were done manually, but to a format, you know? So it's like always in this branching structure. Okay. So in a minute, we're going to let it rip. There's just one thing I want to do, which is run the first one, and then you'll see what we're going to do. It's quite sneaky, but it makes sense, okay? Let me just make sure we've got this right here. So let's run one. Run one. I must have missed. Okay. Ah, crap. I forgot to do the 4-bit. It'll still run. But I should have put it to like 4 or 8-bit. I'm not going to do anything else right now, though, so I think it should be okay. For anybody that doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about, it'll make the memory load half or a quarter of what it should be. And maybe at the cost of some accuracy. So right now we're loading checkpoint shards. Usually if I curse about how slow it is, it sort of jumps up. Okay, and so what it's going to do is it's going to create us a new folder inside our comfy install in the outputs folder. We find the folders, and I believe it's going to be Quen25VL, Quen25VL, and then it's going to be creating a folder in here for us. And what we're going to do, like I said, it's a switcheroo. So put it on type, take all the existing captions. So that's 7 to 56, a little bit odd. And then when the folder appears, we're going to put all of ours in there, put it on increment, and run it through all the images like that. Hang on. Isn't there a problem with this? No. It's got a flat file here. Yeah, it's been flat filed. See, when a part of the process, I explained to you. So, Anime KZK Woman with Red Hair is pretty much all of them. But then there was like a sneaking inside folder. You know what I mean? And various other folders. I think I did show you them when we were back in the where we stole this from. Thorolite datasets. Oh no, that's the new folder. Oh well, maybe I'll go spelunkying in my network again in a bit. But the point I'm trying to make is that the process of collapsing the folders down wrote this, which is, like I said, it's a branching root. So there's the root with the token that triggers the style, and then this describes that collection of images, and then this was unique to that picture, right? So then you sort of like, yeah. Oh, it's finished. Right, so let's see how it did. So, image depicts anime style, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Now, what I need to do is go to the file. And that's sneaking 10. Okay. Delete that. Put them all in. So which one was sneaking 10? That was sneaking 10. So now let's run it again. Hopefully it keeps it in memory, so it shouldn't take... Oh, is it done? Took 6 seconds to do one. So let's see what it did. Sneaking 10, refresh. There we go, check it out. So there's my root. Ah, there's a problem. No space. How do we fix that? Gotta put a space in it. We've got to put a space. Oh dear. It's perfect, except for the fact that there's no space. I can't believe this. I gotta make a space. Starting with an empty space. Do you reckon it'll work if I just modify the prompt? Starting with Oh, wait. Comma, space. Even better. Yeah. Let me just check it. Go on. Go on, you can do it. I believe in you. 6 seconds. Damn. You can't do that. It's too much. It's too much to ask. Alright. I suppose I could just do it myself with string stuff. You know? So we could do text concatenate with a delimiter being a space. But then he's appending the file though, so nah, that doesn't work. I mean, I could do... No, because you can't. I mean, I could do concatenate nothing. We have to do whatever it takes. So, concatenate, how about that? Prepend. Prepend. Append, space. Delimiter, nothing. Uh-huh. Let's do it that way. Come on, give me a space. No space? You can't do it. Alright. Prepend, append, append space. Well, for a start, it should have been the other way round, so that's probably why it didn't work there. Whoops. Convert to widget. Space. Let's have a comma. Let's go, let's go. Prepend nothing. Yes! Space, comma. Can we do comma space? Now we've got our space, but... Oh wait, even better. Nothing. Because it works, right? Hold up. This is all so that we get a good join, by the way. Just so you know. I'm not completely insane, okay? The reason is because when you look at how it combines in the file, it's... There we go. A space. See, I mean, I could have put, like, a dot. That's probably even cleaner. Okay. Okay. So if I now... I've got to edit this so it can do it again. So there, look, face the... So let's take that off. Save it. And try again. Okay, now hopefully this is the one. Dot, space. There, refresh, dot, space. Yep, we've done it. We've done it. Nailed it. Nailed it. So now it follows the same structure, so it will still respond to all of the prompts that it should respond to, but it'll have a much richer description of the scene, so it'll be able to hook into lots more things. Alright, I'm happy with that. So now what we do is we just work out how many images we've got. The numbers won't help you because some of them got deleted in the curation process. So that's only 46 images. Seriously? That is super small. Okay, we're going to have no problem here. So we're going to go to increment. I'll put it on 1. And 45 should do it. Off we go. There we go. And then what it's going to do is, instead of what we normally do, which is to basically write new captions, what we've got is a manually, like a human derived caption route, like I said, which I've explained. and then now we're going to append the QuenVL to the end of it. And this is basically like the most advanced. The only thing you can do to make this better is to go through it again and, you know, just read through it and see if there's anything that's completely wrong. That's all you can do, but it's, you know, time consuming to go through it all again. So, but yeah, there it is. And once this is finished, we'll put it up on the train and move on to the next thingy. The next thingy. But yeah, I hope you can see that this is, like, I'd say the quickest way to do it all at home. Here we go. It's already done 15. An interesting thing as well is, because of the way this has been done, all of these different styles will average out. There are some weird things in this collection, because I think I made these images with SDXL. So, it was either, yeah, I think these are SDXL. So it's sort of like, there is some weirdness to it, because I didn't use ControlNet to make these or anything like that. It's just text to image, they were just good ones, you know. It may be that I actually used an original LoRa, because there is a Thora SDXL LoRa, but I think that was put together with a combination of, like, some of my favourite art from various different real things, and then also a buttload of Midjourney and SD21 and all kinds of different things. It might have been some of that. What's that Japanese Midjourney called? The anime one. There's probably some stuff from there. It's a bit of all over the place to make it originally, but as I said, it creates sort of like an average. Yeah, see how different that is? That's definitely got more Midjourney in it. But all of the different influences will average out into what you train the LoRa, which is nice. 18 to go. Nidji, that's what it is. Thank you, Fernicar. Nidji. Get your Nidji. I also thought we'd have, well, we'll see if I can find a good example, but I got some ideas I want to go through tonight. Some of the body is a bit dysmorphic, you know? Some of the poses are a little bit like, oof. Broken spine. Weird arms. But I kind of like that, you guys know. Like the hands, I don't really care. Because the funny thing is, you put it through a model and you patch it with something else, it's really just becomes more like a palette of images that can be drawn. Less of this exact image, more of what this image means in terms of composition, colors, contrast, how people are put together. The clothing, I find, is actually trained a lot more than people realize. And then obviously the faces and the lighting and all that good stuff. Is this actually representative of the source here? Is it? Yeah, that's full scale. It's probably a little bit compressed. Can you change the preview to be like high quality? Don't know. But these are okay. You can see it's SDXL because of the eyes. The eyes give it away. Not upscaled, 1024 by 1024. One left. And we're done. Now, just in case there was one left, let's get an error now. Yeah, I did the whole folder. Alright, so it's done. So now if I look at any of these, they've all got QuenVL captions on top of my original branching root structure. So you can see the full stop. So there's the original caption, and then there is there's the QuenVL after it with our /append. Okay, I am going to save this workflow as like captioning append mode, but you have to put your stuff in there, which is a bit of an extra step. I guess I could just say here, 1, load your path in fixed index mode. 2, do 1 caption. 3, find the output folder and add your caption files there. 3, increment from 0, batch the number of images in dataset, activate with append mode. Append mode. So this will buff your existing captions, which makes it an interesting addition to the collection. So image, captioner, append. Call that one V70. Copy it. Oh wait, put it back to 0. Name your project. I should make this like the most crazy color. I can't see them. Is purple crazy enough? I don't know. All right. We need more. We need like neon green. Look at this thing here. Export. Go to the workflows, back to the captioning tools, upload the thing with the thing. Done. Meanwhile, back in comfy land, we've just appended the entire data set. So boom, that means we get to reap the rewards. So I'm going to take all of these and I'm going to port them back to the original set. Replace all the files. Now we've got buff captions. And then that's the point where I realize that I was only in the sneaking folder. That was just the tutorial. Right, we got to roll up our sleeves and get this done. There's me thinking I was finished. Nope, you just did sneaking. Mind you, maybe if I just do sneaking, shooting at the camera, and extreme close-up. Because I don't think we're going to be able to do all the images. That was like 45 images from just sneaking. Let me check Spy Suit Portrait. So they're all close-ups. They're all close-ups. So what's extreme close-up? Oh, it's the eyes. That's an old trick, that is. So what I could do is I could reduce them. Yeah. I got the plan. All right then. So obviously, it's time to repeat the process. Put that in there. Extreme close-up. In fact, give me a minute. Yeah. This is correct. This is correct. So extreme close-up, right? How many do we have in extreme close-up? We have 11 images. Oh yeah, I can see this is going to work. Yeah. There's only 11, guys. Right, so we obviously have to do one image first. This is cool though, you get to see me do it a bunch of times. So if I go fixed, right, and we're just going to create one, and mind you, I need to change the project name here, Crit. So let's see, extreme close-up, yeah. We'll do EX. Keep them separate. Western cowboy movies. Yeah, well, there is a little bit of that. Okay, so it's done, right? And like I said, the reason that we just do one is because it's going to create everything for us. And so then I can just go boop, 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 boop. And now I'm in the right folder. I can delete this because we're going to do it again anyway. And then split those, take these, chuck them in here. Done. Now we've got 11. Oh my god, it's so crazy. It's like crazy time when you push this up and down button. Increment and go. Might as well get the alright, yeah. There we go. Look at it on date modified and you can see they're changing over to today. So this is perfect. So like I said, if you've taken the time to build a complicated sort of prompt captioning system, this will just add the Quen stuff to the end, which is nice. Real nice. I've needed to do this for ages. I don't know why I didn't get round to it, to be honest. There's so much going on with all of the video model stuff and all the storytelling stuff the last couple of weeks, you know, which I've thoroughly enjoyed, for the record. I got a few new tricks as well to show you for the Light Writers Club later. We've got a new prompt which we can go page by page and add character lore accurate inner thoughts. So for example, the noir story with the detective, now we can have him like going you know, thinking about things in the story, which is really cool. It actually kind of makes more sense than a narrator. Alright, it's already finished, so let's grab those captions, just refresh, make sure that all of them are changed, which they have. Copy and paste. What the? Oi! Hang on a minute. What? Why are you being copy? Ah, there it is. It didn't give me the thing. Very strange behavior from the Gates OS. Alright. We've done this one now. Let's move on to the next subfolder. Information for Society managed to get the native 095 folder working. Sorted. Good for him. Alright, so we've got sneaking, we've got extreme close-up. Now, I think it's going to be a toss-up between spy portrait, which I think is just... They're not spy portraits. They're just... It's just, well, okay. They are, but they aren't. They're just... Yeah, it's not... I think we want shooting directly at the camera. These ones are good. They're extremely curated. Even though his hand's backwards, it's fine. We'll do that one next. Zero and fixed. And this one's going to be, whoops, this one's going to be shoot. And we're going to do one. Okay, wait for it to finish. I think it's finished. So now we can go back here, go into here, open it up. Okay, cool. Delete it. Get these ones. Put them all in place. Okay. And then how many were there? 6. 6. And we'll go to that one and increment and go. Now, so currently we have sneaking. Okay. We have extreme close-up, which is basically super detailed eyes and face shots. And then we have shooting directly at the camera. Is holding gun worth it? Let's have a look and see. It's pretty good, actually. There's not many in there. This will be the last one we do. Screw the rest of them. They're just, you know, not necessary. So we'll put that one in there. We'll take it back to 0. We'll put it on fixed. We'll change this one to be holding gun. Oh crap, I did 6 of the same image. No, quick, before it does 2 of them. You've only got seconds. I think I managed to do it in time. It's like Indiana Jones with the hat. Okay, so good, it worked. Delete it. Grab these, stick them on tight, grab all of the things. You could probably, this is the 4th time we've done it. I bet you all know, you're all experts by now. I'm not, I can't even copy paste. Come on. See, if you can copy paste flawlessly, you're doing better than me. Alright, so there it is. So we've got it on there, put it on increment. How many are there? Ignore the numbers, because always count yourself. It says 37, there's 21. So 21. It's set up. So boom, let's go. So this is the previous. The caption you're seeing is for the previous image. That confuses the hell out of me all the time. Sometimes I wish there was like a way to show what was the last image, and then I could put that next to this, so then I can see, oh yeah, it did that. But instead you're always like having to mentally go, oh, this text is for, so this image is this one. The detail on this armor is nuts. When it gets it right, the detail on the armor's on point. So, what the hell? She's holding that backwards. See, what I need to do is sometimes, what I do need to do is come in and like in paint, man. Man, this could benefit from the in paint. Get away with a robot arm. Oh, screwed up a little bit, but you get away with it. Okay, so we're almost done here. Oh, these are good ones. Good ones. A little bit of weirdness going on there, but I think it was an outpaint. Yeah, it was an outpaint. So this is the actual image. And look, we've got a variation of the image. Did I get another outpaint of this one? No. To be honest, if you've got artifacts in a data set and then you see them in the training, at least you know it was even learning your mistakes. Because what is a mistake anyway? Bendy guns is a problem. I think the bendy guns are from Mid-Journey. Yeah, that's a Mid-Journey for show. Yeah. The girls crouching with the rifles and the earphones, I think that's a Mid-Journey version 5, maybe? Not sure. Could be 4, but I think it's 5. All right. So we've done that one. So obviously we're going to take a copy of those and we're going to overwrite these. Oh, I did it again. What the hell is going on? Oh my goodness. Why are you not... I've never had this happen before. It's not asking if I want to overwrite. What? Alright, tell you what. There's a way around everything. There you go. Oh, wait a minute. No, for a minute there I thought they'd been renamed, but no. This is correct. Okay, right, never mind. So, extreme close-up, holding gun, shooting directly at camera and... No, wait. Okay, so we did that one. We did that one. Did I do them all in the end? Because it's just so fast. Ah, I didn't do shooting directly at camera. Shit. I bet that's the only one I didn't do, isn't it? Yeah, I've done that one. I didn't do spy suit portrait. So do we really want this one? Let me just check what these look like again. They are pretty good, actually. Yeah, we got to get those. It's worth it. Cam. There's only like, what is that, 6 images? Yeah. You can copy now, can't you? Right. Ah, 1, 2, 8. Can we get 6 though? There we go. Go and go. All right. The last image is her shooting it directly at the camera, after which no camera. Yep, true. I think some of them are just outpaints of the same image. Yeah, or crops. I think I've either cropped or outpainted the same image a few times to really nail it down. That one's a bit iffy. We might get rid of that one. Because it's like... I don't know what that is. That grip's an interesting grip, isn't it? She's got fingers on both sides of the gun. Cobra. Yeah. Yeah. Cobra. That's a good point. Maybe we should get some Cobra scenes and control net with the Laura when it's finished. Alright, let's just grab these. And delete these and paste these. Okay, now this is obviously retrain, and we're not using any of these, even though they are good. I think there's too many of them. Let's just check the count. Whatever it is, divide it by 2. 168. Ooh. Yeah. This is tough. It's like, how many more is it? 18. It's almost like I calculated it to be 100 images. Yeah, I'm not gonna skip it, guys. I'm not gonna skip it. It will only make it like less hard to compare if I skip it. So wait, what the heck? Did I already change that? Yeah, it's good. It's good. Okay, so I can't remember what this one was now. It was portrait. POR. Derailed myself a little bit there, but we're back in business. There it is. I was ahead of myself there. I was like, where is it? Where is it? Copy that. Put that there. How many do we have? We have 18. 18. I have 18. Let's go. A tear streaming down the cheek. Okay, I guess. Oh, but then maybe it was the one before it. See, I get so confused. Just get this eye style down. Basically. Consistent portraits and hair details. That's what we're trying to train, or that's what I was trying to train. A little bit of lighting and looks. She got a lip ring. Oh my god, she's got a lip ring. Cobra, the animation, the Psycho Gun. Oh wow, that sounds really cool. The Psycho Gun. Sounds like Psycho Pass, which I still haven't seen. I read the manga like 10 years ago, and then I still haven't like watched it. It's funny, you just need to find the time. Vascular Degamatron says, "Lip my stockings." Dear oh dear. The eyes aren't bad. They're not perfect though. But they've got some, there's, you know, they're interesting. Some weird stuff going on now. One left. What's the last one going to be? Oh, that was the last one. A bit of an anticlimax. Right, grab this. Copy these guys here. Delete these ones. Put these ones back. What? Hang on a minute. Listen. It won't... It's making noises when I click Control C. It's very strange behavior because it can do it. It's just being Microsoft. Okay, right. We're there. It's done. So now what I do is I zip all of these up together. Because when you upload it, it'll just get flat filed and renamed anyway, but the pairs will be respected. So it'll work fine. They all have the same caption root. Go away. So what we'll do is now we will run over to Civet and we will throw this up on the Barbie. It's going to be... could it be a character though? Could it be a character though? It is actually technically a character though. We're going to give it a go. For QVL car. And let's see what happens. Extreme close-up.zip. We got captions, baby. There we go. See, it's got all of them all the way up to page 12. Skip around a bit. Nice. See, some of them are a bit out of keeping, I will say. But it's fine. It's fine. I could curate harder later. Dev. samples, and in fact we need to go here first. So if I have it on 1024, it will only let me have 2. If I have 10 epochs and 20 repeats, that's over 10,000 steps, baby. But guess what? Epoch 10 is always useless, so we're good. It's always overtrained. So, there you go. Same solution, just don't bother with the last epoch. Normally I would do it just to kind of prove to myself that it was cooked. But if it won't fit inside their limit, I don't need it. Usually it's a debate over 8 or 9. With these settings anyway. And to be honest, it used to be batch size 4. So it would just do it in less steps, which meant you could have more images, which is why I decided not to put all of it. Well, no, I did put it all in there in the end, actually. I keep thinking that I didn't, but I think I did in the end. So, let's get some captions. We'll do this one, Spy Suit Portrait as number 2, and then we'll take this one as number 1, and then we'll get a... Did I already do sneaking? Portrait. Yeah, we do sneaking last. Sneaky, sneaky. Yes, please. Double check it. Double check it. Oh. See, we nearly screwed up there, didn't we? Oh, I shouldn't have pressed the high priority button. It's all screwed up now. See, we nearly... See, we were so close, weren't we, guys? That's alright. I'm just being silly. Alright, boom. 7,800 buzz has been reduced from my total. Cool. Right now, where was I? Trying not to get too sidetracked by going into my network storage. Where is it? Where is the network storage gone? I need to go to... Oh my god, what is all that? So we were in here. I can hear the NAS clunking away like R2-D2 in the corner. So, technically, Jovian World isn't the same as MJ Thora Anime. Rejected, removed, rejected, rejected, part 3. Part 3 merge. Look, it's another data set. With the same structure, you see, XGX airships. So this has got some airships. It's everything you need to illustrate the Thora stories that I'm working on at the moment, see. That's why I'm working on this. It's tangentially related to the Spittoon inversion stuff. So this is effectively like... But I think I went too far with this one. Removed from the last data set. Rejected, rejected, maps. Oh, damn. Loads of canny stuffs. Tight CNETs. Dare I? Okay. So let's go back to part 2, because I think part 2 actually worked better. Yeah, so here we go. Look, boss outfit, captain's jacket. Loads of different bomber jackets. Flight crew, mechanic, standing bomber jacket. I mean, it's a bit 70s. But... And that's just a different person. That's the power of Midjourney for you. Ah, it's a completely different show. Again. Now, obviously, when you train all these together, it just averages. So it's not a bad thing. Slightly changed. Yeah, that's a completely different show. But then the idea is you're like blending the different styles. I don't think there's enough different influences in this set though. So what did the first one look like? XGX airship. Here we go. This is the original data set. Storm ships, skiffs, character. Yeah, this is Mid-Journey. It's all Mid-Journey. The airship stuff was cool, but it was too intricate. Yeah, I remember now. You'd think that this one would have been better, but it's not. It's a nope. What's the SD collection? No, that's the same. These are still no. This is MJ Thora anime. It's cool. What do we have here? Unspeakable Horrors. Unspeakable Horrors caption sucked. I reckon we could do a lot better. Yeah, this. See what I mean? Like, man. Yeah, that needs retraining. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm just looking at these and going, man, these captions suck. US, QVL. Let's see what it can do. 0. Go. Because look at that. And all this. And the caption sucked. Right. Caption was like... Oh, where'd it go? Different folder? Yeah, different folder. Okay. Delete. Type. Wow, there's quite a few in here. Whoa, this is a big boy. You might have to do some curation there, mate. There's 272 images in this one. Oh my god. Yeah. This is gonna need some curation. There's... No. Okay, so this seemed like a good idea until I realized that there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of images in there. Let's just keep looking. I'm just gonna keep looking. Cool distraction, bro. I am enjoying it though. Right. Back to the 90s, baby. Okay. The jacket looks cool, right? Big puffy jackets. What's in here? Flow frames. So nothing. Oh, an ancient machines. What could be in here? A training folder. Ah, it's empty. I already cleaned it. Upscales, whisper, image to image sources, huh? Oh, mirror tricks. Basically, image to image pictures of yourself in the mirror. It's good stuff. Alright, what have we got? Laura Extractor. So again, this is looking pretty empty, to be honest. Yeah, sure, there's stuff in there. But it's like dry. Don't worry about the gold mine. Adobe Complete. SDXL Laura. Is this datasets? Or no, it's safe tensors. Yeah, this is all ancient history. This is, yeah. SDXL stuff. Complete. There's more stuff. Emulation. Flux dataset revival. I know I've been in there a bunch, but I got a funny feeling that it's not that. Yeah, these are all image data sets, but they're all ancient, and most of them have little value now because obviously almost all video image models are so good. You don't really need to train a lot of things now. I think I've already trained all these. Why the hell is my... That's funny. So I'm going through all my backups at the moment, and I'm missing stuff. I am missing stuff. Where could it be? Where could it be? Cameras dataset. It's not that. That's a different... That's a different thing. Oh wow, I remember when that was that big. It's huge now. Again, this is different from the last one. See, the problem with backing things up is you end up with like 5 million copies of the same thing. So what I've been trying to work towards is... Oh, here we go. What's in JPEG? Ooh, that is some... Yeah, you got to be careful with the downloads folder. But hey, GLBs, look at that. I found a brainstem. Wait, what? That was the API. I was like, what the heck? So what about this one? That's a soldier I made with the Hunyuan 3D. From a Warhammers. It did okay. It looks like a cool robot. Whatever. Lol. Hey, hey, hey. Thor is training. Good stuff. Alright. So that's enough of all of that. Get it all out the way. Get it all out of my face. Got enough of that stuff now. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, the NAS is fun, but until I figure it, until I organize what's on here, it's just like, where is everything? Like, I've got loads of comfy media in here, and loads of stuff just unsorted in the scouted folder. Like I said, if I go into folders, there's 514 of them. There's all kinds of stuff in here. Hang on a minute. Wouldn't it be funny if it's just in here? It's been in here the whole time. N. 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 Where's N? Ah, that would have been good. No. I've obviously put it somewhere really safe, like an offline drive. Ooh. What's that? Check. Empty. Empty. Oh man, empty folders. That's no good. Ah, training data. Now we're talking. Helldivers. What's at the other end? Merlin spaceship. Fire. Fire. Snow streets. Snow streets again. Warframe. Warframe again. Trapped spirits. Fashion. Oh, there's only hologram. Okay. XFX. Don't know what that's about. Damn, these are all recent. DVD lasts a long time. Yeah, true. I've just done my typical thing of like hiding that, you know, when you're like, oh, I fancy retraining this model, and then it's the one data set you can't find. So often what happens is I'll look for it, and then I'll find something else interesting and train that instead, because I'm just like, oh, I can't find it. It'll show up. Because the thing is, I've trained it a whole bunch of times. It's probably just like in some strange folder structure, and I can't even find it myself. Like, what's USB L? Oh, yeah. It's just a little memory stick. Just a little memory stick. Yes. Those are actually models. See, I used to put things in folders like, oh yeah, this is going to be worth it when I get enough time. Now would be the perfect time. But yeah, no such luck. No such luck. See, look, new flux. Now, I've already been around the block on this. I've already been in there, looked at them. SDXL LoRa. Oh, hang on a minute. What's all this about? Ah, these are actually LoRa's. There's no... Nightmare. It's my own fault for just going really fast all the time. This is why, you know, sometimes I'll be going on about it. I'll be like, make sure that you organise your stuff. And it's the reason I'm saying that isn't because I am. It's because I strive to be and often fail. And then I, like, you know, the most frustrating thing is when you're like, oh, I knew I have that thing. Where is it? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, we just found it. We just found it. Oh, come on. Is that the only version I have? Oh, wait. April 2024. Above water style. Right. Right. We found it. Okay. So what? Delete that. Route done. Ah, hang on. Which one is 15th of April, 3:32 in the morning? Haha. 3:23 in the morning. So hang on. Wait. There. Other way around. No. 14th, curation. 15th. At 9, demo. Empty. Crap. Route done. This is route done. So that means they all have route. If only I could have this all in one folder. Above water style, ancient realm style. I could. Alright, let's do it. Let's go nuts. Right. 7Z. Oh, they're not. I'm such an idiot sometimes. They're not zip files. So I guess I'll have to do it manually. Let's do it proper. So this will be batch. Oi. No. Yeah, that. What are you doing? I'm not restarting my computer. Adobe's trying to get a piece of the action. Right, come on. I don't know what happened to that tab, but it's just dead. So take the preview off. Crumbs. It's not my day, is it, guys? If I open this up, 1, 2, 3, 4. No wonder I couldn't find it. It's 5 levels deep. They've all got different names, so I think we're going to be okay. This might require some curation. The idea is that by doing a wide scope of styles, you teach a lot of different things. That's the idea. But I see now that I may have overweighted a few of the things. And in fact, I can see a lot of stuff which might get removed because I seem to have a lot of images. It might have to be like a crazy triage. Scream if I made a mistake. Ah, micro style models. Takes me back. Oh, we didn't have enough of those, big time. The Void Realm. They were so good, but just didn't have many of them. Okay, so now we're done. Let's just take a step back here. So, out of all these images we've got, 500 and... oh my god, that's 250. Right, okay. So if I take a look at the above waters, there's 22 there. So I'm going to say I only want 10. So which 10 do I want? I might have to just be murderous and say the first 10, which basically means 5 images. That's it. That's all you get. Now obviously you could do a second run on this process. So everything after 5 gets clipped is what I'm doing, right? So the idea is it'll be balanced, or at least more balanced than it was before, because before, if there's less, there's nothing I can do. But the idea is we'll take everything out over 5, because like I say, some of these styles had too much weight, and that introduces a bias I don't need. Now, could I have picked them like, oh, I'm going to evaluate every single one? Yes, but there's nothing to stop you doing what I just did again and actually going through them. For now, what I'm doing is I'm just going to try and even out the balance here. So we're going to go for 5, and we're going to see how many of them actually make it to 5, because it might be that 5 is too much. We'll see. But this is going to slash the size of the data set right down. Okay, and it might be that I might eliminate entire styles as well. Look at this one. What's going on here? Neo Future goes up to 30. Wait, 33. That's a little bit over the top. Okay, and so let's see, what's this one here? Off-world style. 6 Paradise style. 23. Proxima style goes up to 8. Relic style up to 7. Retro Utopia goes up to 9. Rock House has 9. There we go. 6 to 13. Sky Monastery has gotta go. Strato Citadel survives the culling. Get rid of the verticality. And like I said, if this trains well, what I would do is I would pick different images and recaption. Yeah. The idea is to try and have a balance of each of the different styles, because they're here to increase the scope, not to affect the bias. So I'll go for 4. Now I think there's a couple of styles that didn't actually have 5 images. So let's just check for those. So Cloud Empire style, which is beautiful. We'll leave it in. Cloud Rig style as well. Can leave that in. And then Crane House actually only has 3. Yeah, that's a bit rough. Crane House is getting out of there. Phantasm style. It's a bit too crazy with... Oh, that's just an in paint or an out paint. Yeah, I'm getting rid of that one as well. How many have we got now? What's the total? 239. It's still a little bit too much. Cami Palace. Mega Street. Moon Builder. Yeah, we can get rid of Moon Builder because the AI model got really confused. It was actually kind of cool, but it was confusing. Off-World. Paradise. These are all good. Yeah, get rid of Retro Utopia. It's too modern. Rock House. Rock House. No, it's cool, but the scale's no good nowadays. Let's see. Monastery. Keep that one. Sky Tower. Yep, keep that one. Strato Citadel. That looks good. Upside style. I was trying to make them upside down, guys. I was trying to... It kind of worked, but I don't need it anymore. There's only... Oh, man. I really love Void Realm style, but there's just not enough of them. It's not going to really do anything. Just going to get ignored. Waterworld. 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 Verticality. That's too modern as well. It's too modern. Too utopian. Okay, Jungle City, yeah, Cloud Rig. We're just doing ultra fast, what do you call it? Ultra fast curation. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of the classic style. It's too ambiguous anyway. Above water. Yeah, I mean, it's alright. Ancient Realms are classic. Okay, I think we've done it. We've got it down to 176, which is about 80 images. Okay. So, and it's all in one folder, and look at it. It's just Ancient Realms Style 3. It's terrible. It's literally the name of the file. Okay. So, my plan, as you may have guessed, is to say hello to caption append mode. Stick that in there. Call this one NTTWQVL. This should be an interesting one, actually. Now, there's no trigger on this one, so that's interesting. How do you prepend the trigger? Ah, I know. So it says Ancient Realms style, and then I could say XYX, comma. I could say space. Oh man. So comma space XVX, because I want a main trigger and this sub trigger. So we're going to have to do an append or a prepend. Ah, hang on. We've got a dot there. So it goes dot space and then adds the thing at the end. So what I could do is I could say, what was it that I used for Not the True World? I don't even remember. I'm going to have to look it up. What was the trigger for Not the True World? It's in here somewhere. Where is it? All the skyscrapers and that. There we go. What was the trigger? NTTW style. Cool. So it's going to start off with 2 styles. That's professional right there. Okay. Oh, no. Yep. Right. So we're going to say NTTW style. Let's do another comma and a comma space, so that we're going to do that. So Mr. Super Fake Name says they updated the error. Oh no. What's this? Comments. Full dive. Is there a system of file management that we can put lots of relevant tags on any kind of files so we can find them in a search? Yes, it's called Google Drive. Matter of fact, I'm going to try out this new Google Workspace thing, but I'll get back to you on that. Right. So please describe this in a nutshell, he says. Yeah, we'll do a different one, mate. We'll do a different one. NTTW QVL. We've added our prepend. Yeah, let's see what happens. Go. Okay. Type. Image. And where's the images end? There are 176. What? No, there's 88. I think it's going to just about fit. 88. The hell? That's not the address that I'm in. Windows. Windows. This is like showing me the address of the completely different path that I'm not there. I'm not there. Gotta love it. Quen25VL. Not the true world. Cap. That's what it's going to look like. Not the true world style. So it will say the subname first, then not the true world style. So it's a little bit different putting it the other way round, but I think it'll still work okay. And so now we've got a whole bunch of tags. All right, this is great. This is great. Get rid of it. Put it in. Man, is this going to be not the true world v6? I think it is. Right. So there are 88 items on the list. 88. Increment. And let it rip. 88 on the clock. Done. Alright, so now we just let it go through. Every 6 seconds you're going to get a new image. I'm going to go and make a coffee, and when I get back we're going to take a look at some of these new writing features I've been going on about. Matter of fact, I feel like writing a new book for our detective. If you guys want to lace some plot ideas into the chat, I'll incorporate them and I'll show you how. So, if you're into it, you know what I mean? Just throw some ideas down. I can make them up, you know what I mean? But it'll be fun, so... No. Angry coffee machine. Alright then. Thanks so much for joining the stream, guys. We do this every day at 7 o'clock. We're probably going to be changing the name of the group to Scuffed Epoch soon. Mostly because that's the name of my, that's the name of the company. 5 Below 5 was always just a name I made up. So that's probably going to be a bit confusing. But I'm going to put, redirects on the website and stuff. Hopefully it's not too confusing. Be the same content in the same place. So, but yeah, we'll see if that's a disaster, right? But it's got to be done. But yeah, before we jump into the next section of the show tonight, I just want to sort of go over a little bit about what we're doing. This is using Quen VL 2.5, 3 billion instruct. Okay, you can quantize it to 8 or 4 if you have trouble running it. And we're just batching through, right? Now, I'm recaptioning my existing data set when it was in its root state. So it already had some text. And so we're appending to the text. We've updated a bunch of models tonight. And I think that the important thing to take away is that your data set is king. And you can recaption it as many times as you want. Okay? As the new captions get better and better and so on. But let's just have a look at the actual model history here, because this particular model's been trained on the same data set many times, and you might not understand fully what that's about. And partly it was to find out the formula for flux. That was how we found our current recipe that we use. And then later it was to test the ranks. So we went from 216 to 416. Okay. And then eventually we started using different captioning systems. So V5 had all new captions, I think, from One Vision. Alright, and then before that, I think they were using Civitai tags from the auto tagger. So obviously every time, if you look at this is version 1, and then this is version 2, and this is version 3 this is version 3 where reduced training but full data set, and then this is a cold data set which was way better. And so that's when we started saying, listen, it's not about data set size, it's about quality of what is there. And then we had the V4 Lite, the V5 Lite, and then eventually the 55 Lite, which is the best one. That's the full train. Single digits is a fast train, basically, from light onwards. So 55 is a full train, like the one that we're going to do once these are done. It's already done half of them. It's crazy. And then we'll stick that one on the train as well. That'll be a style model, though. The difference. Fernicar says, if it's a detective, it has to be about the last Dandelion constellation. Just kidding, but now I'm hallucinating that Dandelion is named Symptom, killing all the neural network beings, and the last one is the last Dandelion to lose the gluon of the neurons. Bloody hell, that's intense. That's intense, mate. NTT V6. W with a W, not the true world. Okay, I agree. And then it wants a zip. We haven't even finished. Lovely sample of data for this set. All different shapes and sizes. Okay. So, what is this? We're going to save this. I should have saved that ages ago, probably. Let's close it. No. Close the whole thing. I'm going to open up a new one. D drive. Tools. And we'll go with 4. Select. Yeah, I trust me. And we're going to go with a terminal. And we're going to get this bit. Spoilers. That's the prompt that we're going to be using eventually. And you know what? I think I'm going to make an experimental short story prompt tonight. 6, I think 6 page. Because you need 6 positions. Wait, hang on. Yeah, you need 6 positions on the wheel, I think. It might only be 4, though. So I'm thinking about the right... Because this is a funny thing. Now I'm trying to make my stories shorter. Because they were too long. They like... Well, not too long. But they were like complete books. You know what I mean? With like... You know... Hundreds of pages. So I was thinking to myself... Well, how about we just make them shorter and see... So yeah, we're going to do that. We'll do a 6-page story today. And I'm going to obviously throw some stuff in there from the chat. Okay. So now we're in here. We already have the default story, which uses our Maya Chen and Elijah Morales. He's the detective, private eye, right? We have the default project instructions, which tells us what world we're using, the locations, the technology, the city layout, all of these things. We don't actually want that written there now. There we go. Default world contains the definition of the world. It's an alternate 1950s where they had the moon landing in 1948 somehow. Okay, and everything's flooded as well. It's like a crazy alternate history. Don't worry. But we bring this with it, so it's built in, yeah? So I've literally just cloned this. I've done nothing, right? Now on here we have story. This is page 20. So I want to experiment with a 6-page story tonight. So I'm going to say page 6. And then I'm going to take the, probably the 10 is the most up to date. They're all pretty good, to be honest, but they have slight differences. And this is how the prompt goes. You have it in planning. I usually use the minimum budget for extended thinking on the thinking model. Copy that in. And so it's going to use narrative spittoon default project instructions. And if you want to make sure that that is the right path, there you go. Look, it is the correct path after it's all been installed and everything. So that's correctly linked, right? The project instructions for our detective storyline is pre-filled in, comes with the repo. Because it's like I wanted a working demo for people, you know? And as you can see here, the logic says it's looking for story page 10. So if we just say page 6, because we just changed the number, and then any other reference to page 10 needs to be page 6. And I think, oh yeah, and then obviously we need to say page 5, because this is it's leading the loop. It's going to say, read page 6, write page 5, and then keep going. Repeat this instruction until you reach page 0. So it's going to shuffle through them all backwards from the end. Now, before I run this prompt, I do want to show you something else using the page 10. Or rather, shall I say, our page 6. So I'm going to take all the text, or rather, yeah, we'll use the file actually. Use the file. And you can do it in here, all right? But it's, for the purpose of the demonstration, it's going to be quicker for me to just show you. All right. So what I'll do is I'll post the prompt first. So the prompt I'm going to use is going to be page variation, final page variation. Okay. So we copy that. And this, you can use any LLM for this. You obviously get, a sliding window of results, but you can use any LLM to do this. So this is the final page of my story. Please imagine a variation of this as a completely new story featuring the same characters. I only need the last page as shown in my example. So let's just grab this one here. All right, now I could just use the same page, by the way. I'm just trying to show you a couple of things at once. So let's just say I'm just going to give him a little bit of help, so he can tell the difference between my stuff. Okay, just a simple XML tag. Let him think about it. Okay. Now then, what did you guys say? Has to be about the last dandelion constellation. Dandelion constellation. It's a symptom that kills off neural networks. He was just kidding, he said. You don't need AI to make stuff up. It's a good idea, though. I've got a little modification for you, okay? Include these details in the next rewrite of my final page. The mystery of the dandelion was solved, and it was something to do with bioweapon research. I'm just ad-libbing now. Bioweapon research which dissolves neurons. Ugh. It's called the dandelion. Secured. Cat and mouse like exploit. Cat and mouse like exploits? No, cat and mouse like chase for the intel? No. You can't really say that at the end. It's like you got to write it retrospectively. So that's been solved. That was secured. We'll just do that. I don't want to write too much in. Okay, so off it goes, making edits. Look at him deleting everything. And he's gonna... My augmented eye throbbed. My augmented eye. Oh, it was dandelion weed. Oh dear. Look at him go. He's going for it. Version 6. Like I said, if you're on the fence, Claude's subscription is actually really worth it. It can do so much, and it's not being charged in the same way as the API. You know, you get a certain number of chats per day. They do it slightly differently, but I think they're one of the better choices. O3 Mini High is really good, though. I'm not anti-OpenAI. Okay, I just think that they can be a bit pricey sometimes. Alright, so we got our final page, so we're going to copy the contents and just slap it over the top, right? The end. Now, I haven't read this. It's a new story. So now what we're going to do is take that prompt I've already put in, alright? Obviously save the page, otherwise it won't even see the instructions. Let's delete that, close that for now, rather. Alright, so let's go in. So we're going to do a 5-page story. It's going to be averaged over 7 pages, because there's a page 0. So, wait, 6 pages, because there's a page 0. So this is going to be a new 5-page template for super short stories. Now, it says use the hero's journey here. I want to mention this as well. If we look in the prompt section, there are a chronology of story types. Now you can use any of these instead of the hero's journey, okay? Right? Now I keep going, man. This is 100 years of story systems. So here's the hero's journey. The reason I use it is because it's so well understood. But there are others. Frank Daniels' sequence approach. George Polty. That's the oldest one. That should be at the... I don't know. I was thinking about reorganizing them so that they're in order chronologically. I think we did a couple of these. Blake Snyder, 2005, Save the Cat beat sheet. Right? So we could do Save the Cat. But I'm not sure if we could do that because we've only got 6 pages. Why don't we do... I'm looking for one that's going to fit what we're working on. We could do The Story Circle by Dan Harmon. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Conflict with a God. That's a little bit crazy. Ooh, these ones look good. An enigma? No. Man. Family members compete for an objective. Character makes a terrible mistake leading to loss. That could fit with this story. I'm going to say Fatal Imprudence. And then we'll have some character development, huh? So we're going to change the hero's journey to use Fatal Impudence in reverse. Now, if he asks what it is, I'll just say a character makes a terrible... I might just put it in there. Like that. There we go. Alright, let's go. Oh, that's a good start. Oh, that's a good start. But he is doing it, though. How strange. It's still giving API errors. Let me just check if I've actually got credit for a second. It would tell me if I've run out of money, though. I think I'm okay. It's spending money, but it's like... I don't like it. I'm fine. I'm fine. I got at least enough for a few more bananas. But yes, just to respond to some of the chat that you guys have been talking about doing this with local models, what I'm hoping is that over the next week or so we get a chance to go back to Olama, download some local models and start doing this stuff with them instead, because I guarantee 90% of the stuff we do doesn't need all that power. You know, we're not high-level full-stack developers, right? The stuff that we're doing, you know, is lower level usually. I'm not underestimating. It's just even myself, you know, for myself. So I'm thinking, yeah, go back, find out what the latest local models are, see if we can get, because it's all about tool use. The last time we looked at it, the tool use was bad. None of the local models could do it. And it's getting much better now that MCP's become a bit of an adopted standard. So what we're going to do, here's our protagonist. This is what it can tell from the end of the thing. Here's our story. Setup and protagonist, normal life inciting, initial clues, rising stakes, warning signs, fatal mistake itself, fallout for the mistake, the aftermath of the consequences, and that's what we have. So looks like the structure fit the end well, which is good. So methodology for each page, analyze the following page, identify key plot points that need to be explained in our current page, use Westwick resources, So this is all of the stuff in the project planning. So setting elements from locations, technology from lunar technology, character from characters, noir terminology from glossary. We made all of that previously by distilling our notes. Consistent voice of the detective, plant seeds for the mistake will eventually occur and ensure continuity. Specific plan for page 5. Looking at page 6, we need to explain how we obtained the research, why they're injured, the confrontation with security. So it's a story then. Yeah? A story then. The subsequent pages will tell the story of how the detective found out, what prompted the investigation, who tipped them off, and then likely trusting the wrong person. Alright, let's go. We are now ready to let it write. Okay. So the first pass is what I call dry. Just like in audio, you have dry and you have wet. Wet would be a finished book, which is all fully flourished and everything. Dry would be the business. Who said what? Where were they? Yeah. The most basic bare bones of a story. It's pretty good, but it needs embellishing. It needs a lot of work, right? And I have 2 key things to fix that. I mean, I've got lots of things that can fix that, and I put them all in the prompts folder for you to experiment with. But as you can see, it's written page 5. Now it's going to go ahead and try and read page 4. We're getting some weird API errors today. I don't know if it's because my VS Code or my client needs to update or something. I don't know. But it's working, so. Oh, please like the stream. If you don't like the stream, we don't exist. So, thank you. So what we're going to do, we're going to let it write all the pages. So then we're going to have... Oh, there were actually 7 pages. I'm an idiot. So there were actually 7 pages. Page 0 to page 6, that's 7 pages, not 6. But, okay, whatever. I was supposed to make a 5-page story and ended up making it 7 pages. I can't help it. Okay, and then when we finish this story, I can show you the next phase. There's 2 or 3 phases. It's up to you. You can drop and add bits and pieces as you want. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing 2 things. The V3 expansion, which is a context-aware, non-destructive narrative upscaler. And then we're going to be using the inner thoughts tool. So let me give you an example. Here I have the page, or a page from one of these stories. Okay. Oh wait, that's the final page at the end. Hang on. I had it set up before. Give me a sec. There we go. So what I've done is I've set up an agent here, which basically does the exact same task that we're doing in Klein. So it's interesting because, you know, if you took that prompt that I gave you and I've put it into the project instructions as the system prompt with ChatGPT or whatever AI model you're using, when we put a story in here and say, please add the inner thoughts. So let's have a look at my prompt. So this is like the chat way of doing it. You know what I mean? Like I've shown you, like, what we're doing here is the Klein way of doing it because it's fully automated. Okay. But you don't have to do it this way. You can do it this way too. So here we are in here. And what I'm showing you now, we're going to do in here, right? But same thing, doesn't make any difference, okay? So you take page 6, you take the default characters, so that's the definition of the characters. Remember when we looked at the files? You know, it's like the names of who's everybody and all that. Please study my story and characters, create a new page, including each character's inner thoughts. Now, in this story, it's probably only going to do the detective, but it might do other characters, but obviously each character can't be aware of their thoughts, you see. There's rules, right? But anyway, You know what inner thoughts are. So I've said story equals page 6, because in the programming for the agent, in that system prompt, right? In that system prompt, it says we will enhance story by adding characters' inner thoughts while following characters. So it doesn't define what those things are. But if we come in and just say page 6 default, story is page 6, characters is default character JSON. Please study my story and characters and create a new page including characters' inner thoughts, which is exactly what it did. Okay? See in italics? That's him thinking. Okay? He's thinking in first person. There he is again. And it's just added it in for us. So, you know, you can... Her surprise sounds genuine. We're both being played, but by whom? So it's just like in a detective movie when, you know, you hear him thinking as he's walking around. And he's like, oh, looks like we're onto something, but it might be another dead end. So that's fun. Like I said, and there's loads of stuff like that that you can do just as a second pass. Look at this page, add this stuff, give it rules. Okay? He's really good at this. Statistics about people with internal monologue and without. Yeah, you could have a file that says, you know, these characters can have internal monologue, these characters can't. You know, you can certainly do that. You could just put it into the thing. It's all definable, you see. If you tell him what you want and you actually define what you want and you just try to break it up into little bits, it can actually do almost anything. See, character accurate stuff. They appear at natural moments like when assessing equipment or surroundings, during decision points, while processing new information, when noticing inconsistencies and before taking risks. All original text is preserved completely intact, inner thoughts added only to enrich characters' perspective and motivations. It's perfect. This is like stuff that you add in the edit later, but just automated to a formula that you've defined. So you define the rules, it plays the game. So it gets to play in your universe. And if you're like, no, that didn't happen, this happened, it'll go ahead and rewrite the whole thing. So it's a little bit like having a writer's room, but it doesn't need to sleep, it doesn't need to eat, and it absolutely will not stop until your narrative doesn't suck. The Terminatrix. I don't know. Page 0 is ready. Thank you, Fernicar. Okay, so now we've got page 0 done. We've got our complete story. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slam it into plan mode. We're going to go for the next stage. So that's going to be page expansion v3. And we will read what that says. But let's just queue it up first. So it's going to be... This isn't the name of it. So it's going to be story... come on. Story / page 0. We'll do it forwards. We only need to write backwards. You don't need to go backwards forever. So we can copy this and put it here. Alright. Currently this is not the default. That's not the correct path. So we're just going to put default project instructions put back in correctly like that. I bet there's another one. There's always another one somewhere. Yep, there it is. So let's just read this out. We will expand narrative spittoon story page 0 by adding more information which describes the environment in greater detail whilst following the default project instructions. So that's all the rules for your world. This is the scaffolding tunnel that sits around your potential thread. Speech will be preserved. No story changes will be made. Read page 0. Expand the text by 200% by adding environmental details, weather, time of day, illumination or remarkable sights while avoiding repetition. Focus on an insignificant object in the page and describe it with an incredible level of fidelity. Add visual details describing the scenes and locations with contextual awareness while adhering to the project instructions. Remember, that's a complex set of files which define the world, the characters, everything. Preserve all original text including beginning and ending of page. to maintain continuity with surrounding pages. What I found was 1 in 10 pages he would go off the rails, and then the end of the page wouldn't match the beginning of the next page. So I had to include this in V3 to try and get ahead of that. You may expand and embellish the original start and end, but you must preserve the original text within your expansion. Select and focus one insignificant object in the narrative and provide an exceptionally detailed description of its physical properties, history in relation to the environment. Adds rich, that's just a little bit of spice that I've added in. Add rich sensory details that enhance the noir atmosphere while maintaining a distinctive setting. And bear in mind, this won't be every single page, because once we're done with the expansion, it's probably like 1 in every 3 pages you start describing some chandeliers in great detail, which actually isn't that unnatural. Okay, so let's just take a sample here. We have 12,124 characters on our page 0. Let's go. And like I said, everything is dependent on the seed and the edit. You get a good seed and you get a good edit. This destroys everything that's currently out there, because you're not building a bridge to nowhere. You start at the end and you work backwards instead, using because, but, therefore, and other story types that we've shown in reverse. You only have to build a little bridge many times. Like I said, what is it? The past is easier to divine than the future, because it happened. Anyway, so here we have weathered conditions, detailed descriptions, sensory details, time of day. Insignificant object for this page: the protagonist's grandfather's revolver. I'll elaborate on its physical properties, history and significance. Object is mentioned but not deeply explored, making it perfect for expansion. Integrate new details seamlessly between existing paragraphs. Expand existing paragraphs. Ensure all original text remains intact. Maintain the noir atmosphere. Visual and sensory experience of the rain. Contrast between dry heights and flooded districts. Technology of the skimmer and the water transportation. Ambience of the Lunarium Club, which is where we are located on this page. The feeling of the outdated augmented eye implant, which he's going to keep going on about. Atmosphere of the precinct and the briefing room. Now, it's at this... Well, no, wait, no. When we were doing the planning for making the pages, we could have added anything we wanted. But now we're in this stage, we kind of want to keep it like in frozen, okay? So I'm just going to go into act mode and we're going to do page 0. Now, luckily, this will be a full demo because we've only got 6 or 7 pages to work with. Ein Man says, is this Manus? Do you know, it's funny, I love what Manus is, but I don't have access to it. No, this is bespoke. We built all this from scratch. It's just using Klein in VS Code with Claude 3.7. No, this isn't Manus. See, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adapting all of this stuff to Olama Quen. That's the next step. But right now, what we're doing is we're doing context-aware, non-destructive narrative upscaling. So we're going to start with the skeleton of a story. So we've already written our story, okay? We wrote it in reverse from the final page using predefined world characters and selected storyline structure. There are like so many storyline structures, it's actually insane. And he can do them all in reverse like this. And you, like I said, you step through the segments of the story and it's actually really easy. I've used all types of things in the past, special models, different platforms that's focused on writing, but none of them work as well as this. And the reason is because you get to fully define everything. Like I said, the project comes with a default set which has everything in it that you need to run this, and essentially you define your characters, you define how those characters speak, they even have patterns and inflections and things. You can obviously distill all of this stuff with another prompt, right? You have your world defined, then there are other characters, Okay, other characters in this, which can be linked to. But what I do is I basically, in my main prompt, I say use the default project instructions, and that is a text file or a JSON that's linking to many other files. Yes, he says, Ein says, I'm doing this by hand when I have to, but it's annoying as hell. Yeah, see, I have a lot of notes. I write stories, I have a lot of notes. And so what I found was that these deep thinking models are really good at organizing abstractions in your notes. And so then what I did was I thought, well, hang on a minute, let's do a stage play where the AI gets to be all my characters, I give it all the information, and then let it rip. And this is what we got. So we're done. We're now at 27,000. Remember how I said we were at 12, I think? Now we're at 27,000 characters for page 0. So, yeah, everything I give everything away. If you go to Mushroom Fleet on GitHub, it's the narrative spittoon inversion. Everything we're doing tonight, I started from scratch. I literally just git cloned the spittoon and just got working. So, if you rewind the stream, you'll have full instructions. I'm going to be doing a main channel video on this, but I'm still playing with it. I'm still making it better. Like I said, this version 3 expansion prompt is really nice. And as you can see, it cost me 19 cents per page. So for a 6-page story, we're looking at around 2 bananas. Oh, the time limit per day. Right, yeah. The time limit one has per day is depressing. Yeah, and this is one of the reasons why this is nice, because you can just literally go, okay, right from page 6 backwards, I've got my story. The core is done. Check. And then what we're doing now is we're going to go, so check it out. So it doesn't even take long. If I'm not explaining everything, it doesn't take long. Why is it so small? Look at how small my chat is. Can we get more space? Hey Klein, why so serious? What the heck? What? Okay, something. Hang on, I think I screwed up. Yeah, let's just copy the prompt. That probably helps, doesn't it? Yeah, let's copy this prompt again. Copy that. New task, put the prompt in, and now we're going to do page 1. Change it to page 1 in 2 places, hit the plan, and off we go. Some people have real problems with long convos. So I say, just do one thing, new chat, one thing, new chat. You'll have a lot of more success with these thinking models that have been coming out lately. They tend to get a little bit lost, and one time I swear it was going to like reinvent the network protocol just to get something to. I was like, guys, stop. It's like if you're not careful, he will try to do silly stuff. Okay, but not here. So I'm going to add rich environmental details that reflect Westwick's divided nature between the heights. That's going to be an ongoing theme. Okay, focus on an object. Good candidates include. So he hasn't even decided yet, right? It could be the eye, the data pad, the revolver again, or a water taxi. Scene by scene environmental layering. I'll identify scene transition in the original text and expand each visual detail while maintaining the atmosphere. Preservation technique. I'll weave new descriptions around the original text, ensuring I maintain story beats, dialogue, and narrative flow. Off you go. And you know what the best thing is about this? It's infinitely expandable, because I'm nowhere near any of the limits. I'm nowhere near any of the limits by doing it like this. So it's like, you've defined your characters. You find how they speak, everything about them. You've defined the world. You can even put lore and history. I've got my world in a bigger world, which the characters aren't aware of, and that's fine. You can do that, no problem, right? And so then this is the kicker. Because every story has an ending, So you start at the end, and I got the idea from Christopher Nolan's Memento, you know. And like I said, once you expand it, like I said, this is one of the reasons I'm doing it today with a 5. Well, it was supposed to be 5, but it ended up being 7, okay? But the point is, I was trying to do it with actually less pages. Because once you've upscaled, added the inner monologue, maybe you use my golden shadow prompt on it, which will resurrect storylines that you didn't even know were there. It's insane. It basically reads your story and the page. Okay, so you give it the whole story, it skims it, and then you give it just a page to work on, and it'll be like, oh, I've noticed there's a character who you didn't develop. I'm going to give him a backstory and have him say stuff. You can do all this sort of stuff. Can you format it for book printing as well? At the moment, I recommend that you transfer it yourself, but the pages end up becoming chapters. By the time you finish this, each page will evolve into a chapter. And so then when you come to make it a template in like InDesign or whatever software you use to make your book, it's easy to just take each section. You know, you put the heading in for the chapter and then just put all the text in, you know, and then just keep going until you get to the end. So it's super easy. Yeah, you've got it, Ein. There you go. See, I do the same thing. I make music with AI as well, and I often will go backwards. I'll say, give me the bit before this. And so I thought, hang on a minute, I could just do this with a story. As long as I define rules and who the characters are and stuff, that gives him a sort of a palette to paint with. And so then I'm like playing a game where I've restricted his ability to paint to inside my picture. And then I've said, right, what happened, right? And again, it's super powerful because if you have an ending, what I found was you can use the same ending and make you can make infinite stories in reverse. Yeah? Yeah, because there's no defined beginning. It could begin anywhere, right? It's brilliant. Ah, they want them in. Okay, that's interesting. Printing websites want separate chapters split into PDF. So this is fine. Yeah. And like I said, there's so much you can do. Let me just give you a brief peek. A peek of the prompts folder, because it's a lot of fun. So if I go into the prompts folder, here it is. So we obviously have 10 page, 20 page, 30 page, 40 page. We're doing a 5 page at the moment, which is 7 because I can't do math. There is the default. With this, if you run that prompt, you can just run this prompt out the box. You don't need to make any changes. But I do recommend that you write all your own stuff based on your own stories, and you can obviously just feed your work into an LLM and have it distill it into this. And there is a print prompt for that as well, the artifact builder. If you run this prompt and feed it a bunch of your work, it will distill it into the artifacts, which you can then link to in a project instructions file. There's also the bulk expansion, bulk expansion? No, that's a different thing. Extra artifacts gives you things like JSONs and mermaids, which are like flowcharts and whatever, because the AI loves that stuff, and you can include them in your project instructions. I don't recommend that you convert pages in a loop beyond the initial write, because it's a low amount of text. After that, you should always do 1 page at a time, because it gets lost. It'll go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 30, and be like, I'm done. So I say do it a page at a time. I also have a convert script, so you can convert pages into a screenplay. You can convert pages into a script. Then I've already showed people the final page variation, so we can take the last page and just variate it so it gives you a different ending for the same characters in the same world. I got a holographic tutor which will find weaknesses in your story and suggest edits. We got a narrator pass which will add a narrator voice to every page. The various different expansions. So I recommend V3 because it's the latest one. It's got more conditions which stop it from making mistakes, but these are still good. Inner thoughts, which is what we're looking at or going to look at once we've done the upscaling. There's also a page to prompt sequence for Hunyan video, but you need to have the screenplay because it looks at the page and the screenplay page at the same time. It forms a kind of attention net. There's a repetition sniper. The speaking style pass, so that looks at of all the characters that you have defined, which have speaking styles defined, and then it looks at every page and just, it's like a lore accuracy editor going, that character would never say that, she would have said this, and then it changes it. All of the different story types you can use, and then here's that's my actual transform page to script. Like I said, don't use the loops. They're more expensive. They still work, but they're more expensive. I don't know why. It's cheaper to do it a page at a time. I think it's because the context window fills up and he's actually reading every page every time. You know what I mean? It's not... Yeah. Okay, so that's all of my things. Oh yeah, and of course, the Golden Shadow Restoration, which, look at this. The Golden Shadow exists in multiple forms, characters mentioned but not developed, plot hooks introduced but not followed, settings described but not explored, thematic elements that appear briefly but could be central, symbolic imagery with unexpanded significance, background events with untapped dramatic potential, implied relationships or conflicts left unexamined. Okay? And then it will expand selectively. Okay? So not all dormant elements deserve development. Evaluate each shadow element for resonance with the story's themes, potential to deepen character development, ability to... So in other words, this is like the missing source. This is like the missing source. If you're like, you know, if any writer, you could put any book in and look at any page and be like, find the hidden story, and it'll like it'll like frack the plot and see what comes out. It's really interesting to do, just as investigation. So you have detection, evaluation, planning, and execution. Okay, it's really cool. I've got one of these for code as well. That was where I got the idea. He was like looking through comments and restoring code that was disabled. And then I was like, oh, we could do that for the narrative. So yeah, this is a new feature just recently added. But it's experimental, so, you know, back up your stuff before you use it, guys. Okay. Right. Enough chat. Let's get the rest of these pages done. Like I said, I promised you guys... I remember saying, like, oh, we're going to be writing these stories on this thing, and it wasn't even that long ago, and, you know, I meant it, you know. We're going to do it live. Go. So there we go, page 2, and let it rip. Like I said, it won't take long. We will have expanded all of these pages. And I'm not going to, you know, well, we'll see how much time we have. Studio for each character separate by extending and then putting it together in a door. Yeah, I do recommend... Oh, did my internet just drop? Yeah, I did. My internet just dropped. Alright, well, let's just keep going and hope we don't die. Yeah, Kokoro TTS is really nice. I do like Kokoro. It's a really great system. Alright, well, I hope your project goes well, mate, like I say. But I can say with confidence that you'll have a lot of fun with this system if you decide to give it a try. You know, I kind of discovered it by accident. I was thinking about Christopher Nolan's Memento, and I thought, hang on a minute, I could just start at the end and do like 2-minute sequences backwards until I reach the start. And it actually worked. It lagged, but I'm okay now. All right, nice one, guys. Appreciate it. So, yeah, let's act. So what's he going to do? He's always talking about the revolver. This might be something I have to catch in post. I didn't think that the revolver would be the same item on every page. We're on like page 2 and we're still talking about his revolver. This is going to be like Johann's watch all over again. Does Kokoro TTS have cloned voices and conversation? Okay, so Kokoro TTS is a really impressive open source text-to-speech. It's very good quality, and you can make custom voices. But it's not a voice cloner. For that, we've been using XTTS. But only because you can keep all the local files, you know what I mean? We want everything local. We don't want to API anything. So, Because if you want to API stuff, you know, that's a different question, right? But for local models right now, we're doing Kokoro TTS for the text-to-speech, and then we're doing XTTS does cloning. So I got to use 2 different systems. But there's good reason for that. Because to be honest, I'm a big fan of, I prefer audio to audio. So I'm still looking for a third model which does speech to speech. It's a text to speech model, but it actually modifies somebody else's speech like a voice changer would. I'm looking for a good AI voice changer, yeah? Because I feel like there's stuff that a human actor can do, which when you put it through a speech-to-speech AI, you can pretty much turn anybody into anybody. The new one, Spark TTS, has cloning, but we didn't test it live yet. Interesting. Yeah, the thing I like about Kokoro, Ein, is you can get it in 75 or 100, or it's like a few hundred megabytes, and it's fully local. If you check on my GitHub, there's a few bits and pieces as well about it. I've done a few projects with Kokoro. The nodes one I did in Comfy is the best because it's got the spherical linear interpolation to create even more voices. And like I said, every now and then I'll come back round to that and make it better. Oh, we're done. That means it's time to do the next one. Oh, there we go. He's done it. New task. We need to do page 3. What's funny though, right now, he's actually just editing. Sometimes he'll automatically say page 3 expanded. You know what I mean? Instead of editing the file like he's doing now, he'll write a whole new file. That's way more expensive. It's also safer because he can't corrupt your stuff, right? But I'm just saying, like, if you get him to edit the original, it's cheaper because he doesn't charge you for every single word as he's just copying out what you already wrote. You see what I mean? So it's like, it's all in the wording. If you tell him, write me a page based on a page, he'll just copy out the entire thing and you'll pay for every single word. Whereas if you... Oh, there we go. Yeah, he'll just copy out the whole thing, but he'll charge you for every word. If you get him to edit your file, yes, he might mess it up, but you only pay for the edits. And if you have a look, it's 19,000 up, 831 down, 3 cents so far on the planning side. So now we'll activate. Did he focus on the gun again? He's focusing on the augmented eye again. Okay. Yeah, I prefer Udio. I've got to say, I do know what he's talking about, the Suno sound. And I think Refusion does have the Suno sound with a few... It's like there's this cleanness to it. There's something about Udio where it's rough, and that's what I like. There's something about Udio that makes it rough. It's noisy, whereas Suno is very clean. Now, I don't know if that's just my prompts, yeah? Because if I'm being completely honest, a lot of it is down to how you prompt. And maybe I'm prompting wrong, okay? But whenever I tested prompt for prompt against the 2 systems, I always preferred Udio. And that's my sniff test. You know, if that situation changes, if a new Suno model comes out and it doesn't, you know... You got the rough sound. It's in the advanced setting. Yeah, I'm not arguing with you, Fernicar. You know me. I'm just saying, like... for what I use, for the type of music I use, it's Udio for me. I went on Suno. Like, I've got an account. I've spent a lot of money on Suno over the years, like testing it and that, but I've never finished a song on there. I tell you what though, I don't do lyrics. So maybe Suno has the edge on lyrics. You see? Because I just do instrumental stuff. Because that's the stuff I need, you know? When I'm doing these sorts of streams, you know, all the music you're listening to, that's all my Udio stuff. Pretty much. Yeah, you can upload stuff to Udio and remix it. True. Do you know what? I did have a lot of fun uploading. You know how you get like memes? You get like a meme, which is like 3 seconds meme. And you upload that as the start of your track with like a good prompt and stuff. I had a lot of fun messing around with that, but you know, you'll get in trouble with samples, so I don't share that stuff. It's just for funny. It's just for the funnies. Okay, he's done. She's done. So now we'll go to the next page 4. Now the only thing you got to watch out for with this is expanding an already expanded page, because you didn't keep track of things. Because obviously if you double a double, it's going to get pretty big. Same as in imaging. Ein says lyrics is the only advantage, but if you write them yourself, it's absolute. Again, create 50 gen, you will find the one. Just create 50 songs the same and just one of them will be good. Yeah, law of averages. To be honest, with all this music generation stuff, I find it's actually somewhere between... Well, it depends. You can have a good run where... I've had it where every song was good for like 10 tracks in a row. And I'm like, oh my God, we got a good one. We got a good prompt here. And then other times it's been like 1 track out of 8 has actually been worth developing. And sometimes when you develop a track, it just is garbage. One time I had to develop, I had a 2-minute track and there was only 10 seconds that I liked. So I went for an experiment. I was like, right, we'll cut it down to 10 seconds and then just try to keep it in that point. And it did work, but it was really hard to do. Because you had to continuously crop out when it started to go crazy again and go back to that point with the with the percent. So, lots of fun. Tell that to the death certificate. Already filed as a Tidewater misadventure by the Harbour Authority. Oh my God. Furnicar will share my only album if you want to measure the quality of it. No, not at all, mate. Like, literally, I always say this, okay? Just because I don't use something doesn't mean it's not good. It just means that what I use it for, the other thing was better. But, you know, there's so many types of music, you know? There's going to be things which each are better at the other. That's just facts. Because they all have strengths and weaknesses. They all have biases. That's what the weights are. I got the impression it was better at doing like mainstream pop and that kind of music, dance and singing. Suno. To be honest, the thing I like most about Udio is I can do my string painting technique, which with hex strings, which is awesome. So that means I can lock a seed down and then I can get even more songs out of it, which is nice. I like it when techniques that we've made in other systems still work, you know. There's a good one. You wait for them to bring out the diffusion-based LLMs and then it turns out that my string painting works on them too. That'll be a good one. Okay. Boom, back in planning mode. Let's go. We got no time. What's that? Page 5? We're nearly done. Nearly done. But yeah, thank you very much. It's been a lovely evening. We're coming towards the end of the stream now. We're not quite there because I do have the point of the stream to get to. We're getting there though. We're closing in. Because I promised Writer's Room. And so what we've done now is we've gone through the upscaling side of things too. So after we've done page 6 in a minute, I'm going to show you the inner monologue feature, which is a new one. And then all I need to do is make like a private eye voice in Kokoro. I am working on a cool feature which basically makes a narrator version who's like the guy reading the book, audiobook, and then it's able to use the script to create a playlist of lines with custom voices. Okay, and because they're all numbered, the narrator, when it hits some speech, it'll play track 1, and then when that's ended, it'll go back to narrator again. So it's like narrator is a playlist of audio files which are not what is spoken, and then in between them you have a sequential script playing. So every line that's said in the game, every line that's said in the story has a number, and then every narrator line has a number. So then it's actually really easy. Yeah, it goes narrator 1, script 1, narrator 2, script 2, narrator 3, script 3. So it's possible to have 2 playlists which can be created automatically, which can then be put back together automatically, blended like that. Okay, and then there you go. Now you've got your audiobook with all your characters, but it requires some moving parts. Like you have to have a script for each page which is separate so it can be mapped. But essentially what I'll do is I'll have it make me a special script, right, where each line is like number 1, number 2, number 3. It's quite tricky. It's quite tricky to put together, but I think it's achievable. Just takes a little bit of work, I think. And then what you can have is your automatic audiobook. So you've just generated it. You generate your thing. Oh, and by the way, right now we're having to enter in commands one at a time, but you can even automate the. You can automate everything now. Do you know what I mean? Of course. So we'll go to 6, and we'll go to 6, and we'll go to planning. And now I'm going to get the last prompt ready. I'm not doing Golden Shadow Restoration. Although I tell you what, that's some hell of a thing. You know, I like to just play around with a lot of this stuff at night, and I'll just like run into things and be like, oh wow, and then we'll add it. That's what's going on. It's probably worth mentioning as we're nearing the end, and I do appreciate you guys hanging around. I have added more LLM-based prompts recently. Okay, so not only is there the lucid thought-based, so there's Lucid Thinker, there's Stoic GPT that has anger management knowledge. There's the Golden Shadow Code Assistant, which is, you know, like I said, I mentioned that earlier. There's the 3D knowledge framework. And if you go inside of it, there is a merge of Lucid and 3D called Deep Lucid 3D. That one, they're amazing deep thought engines. And then we've also got my Machiavelli planner, which comes with brand hacking, competitive intelligence, crisis management, executive leadership, life coaching, negotiation, political campaigning, and project planning. This is public and offline. Yes, it's public and offline. You can run it all with local models. Everything I've showed you tonight, you can just go in here and then you can just go, oh llama, please, and use all your local models instead. Just make sure they got tool use, because a lot of my prompts require you to create files, run scripts, and save things. No, it doesn't need an API. Look, watch. Oh llama. DeepSeek 14BQ4, that's on my machine. Yeah? It doesn't need an API because you can run it in local mode, and then you can have anything which is on Ollama, anything on Hugging Face too, because you can run a model. You can run a model file to a safe tensors. Do you know what I mean? So I run a lot of GGUFs. I run GGUFs, usually in about Q4KM. I like that. Yeah, you're good. Like I said, this is one of the reasons, mate, I have this on a Chromebook. I have this running on a Chromebook. And you've got no idea how impressed clients are when you can just pull it out in a coffee shop in the middle of nowhere and just be like, yeah, this is how it works, look. And it's like, brrr, angry machine is coding on its own. And customer is just like, oh. You can't make it up. It's an insane time to be working. So, I believe we just have our last page to write. It's time to act. So let me guess, is he going to focus in on... What's he going to focus on? Nothing? No idea. You will need a CPU with AV2V6 or higher, big VRAM, minus 6 gig. I can't use it. Oh, Fernicar, I just want to point out, I have a $100 Chromebook. It's a dual-core Celeron. It doesn't have RAM as far as I know. It's a glorified phone. It's terrible. I can't run more than 2 tabs in Chrome at once. But Chromebooks can run a virtualized, well, it's not really virtualized because it is Linux. It can run a Linux operating system, okay? And then you can install VS Code using the normal, like Debian, the .deb package. That's how I did it. But then again, I don't know what you mean by AVX 256. If that's virtualization, I don't think my Chromebook has that. And you know what? It was really funny. When I tried to install Python, it refused. And then I told Klein, I said, my Python won't install. And he was like, oh, really? And then he installed Python. It's really funny. I had the AI install Python for me. It was quite, I just think it's funny because normally you can't do anything without Python. It's like, well, I'm exaggerating, I know, but GPU AVX is a requirement of Ollama. Well, I don't use. Okay. On a Chromebook, I wouldn't use Ollama because there's no GPU. Just for the context, I do use API on the Chromebook. Obviously, there's no GPU. Do you know what I mean? It's a tiny little thing. So you got two setups. I don't want to confuse people. If you want to run Ollama, you need a GPU. Fair, right? And virtualization on your CPU. Fair, right? But if you want to run the APIs like OpenRouter, like I do, like I'm doing now, you can do that on a Chromebook all day. So like writing, that's no problem. Yeah. But do you know what? You might get lucky because a lot of the competitions I've got planned over the summer is going to be OpenRouter prepaid giveaway keys. So we're going to be giving away like $10 here, $10 there, probably every week. I'm going to announce it all. Like I said, we're rebranding the channel to Scuffed Epoch very, very soon. I'm just getting all of the assets ready so we can switch. But, you know, you're really active, so I wouldn't be surprised. Like, literally, that's how it is. You're always here. You'll get it one day. Okay. That's how it is. So we've written the story, okay? It's done. It's complete. So now what I want to do is I want to go back to page 0 and I want to do my new inner monologue prompt. This is one of the new things I wanted to show you guys. So remember, we're going to have to change this. Okay. So at default, I'm using the default project at the moment. You would be putting your own in, but you know, it comes with the repo. So we will enhance page 0, right? Enhance page 0 with the default project instructions. So again, type in here at page 0. So it's like a template. These prompts are like a template, some of them. So then characters, right? So at default, and it'll be, well, there's a folder called default. So /default/characters. And then here it is, look, default characters. Okay? So if you're a main character, you're in this list, you're getting an inner monologue, right? That's how it works. It's going to wrap everything in asterisks, so it's automatically in italics, so we can pull it out easy. That's it. That's all you've got to do. You've got a GPU. Yeah, if you've got a GPU, you should be okay. He's not wrong, though. He is not wrong. Although I will say, though, sometimes you can run in CPU mode, and it's just really, really slow. I wouldn't even try that on my machine, but, you know, it depends what you got. Right, so let's have a look. Oh, wow. Here we go. Elijah Morales Singh is 42 years old with Indian and Puerto Rican heritage. Quietly confident, reliable, calm in crisis, was reserved but deeply loyal. Has quirks like naming power tools, identifying trees by touch, keeping a one-sentence journal, ballroom dancing, and carrying a homemade salve. What? Former detective and military engineer who now runs a community workshop. I love it, mate. It's so good. Oh, my God. Okay, so identify strategic points in narrative where inner thoughts would naturally occur. Reflective moments, decisive decision points, emotional reactions, character development. And then craft inner thoughts that reveal motivations, show his connection, reflect his background, express his nature, and occasionally reference his quirks. Format everything with stars. Ensure the additions enrich the narrative without changing plot points or dialogue. Go. Oi, oi! Hello, Throttle. Welcome, welcome. Hey, thanks, Ein. No problem, mate. Drop in any time. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate all the comments. So yeah, just so you can catch up, Throttle, what we're doing right now is we're just adding in the narrative, the inner thoughts. We're adding inner thoughts to our detective story, which we made from scratch tonight. Probably started doing it maybe an hour ago. Like, if I hadn't been chatting, it would have been done by now, but I was trying to, like, you know, explain everything and, like, show you all the different options that are there. Because the funny thing is, this repo is probably my most popular repo, even though it doesn't show it. When you go on GitHub, there's no stars, there's no comments, you don't know it. But if you look on my social media posts, it's like thousands and thousands. I don't normally get more than a few hundred interactions. And this one was like huge. So I was like, oh wow, people really want to write stories then. I didn't know it was... Because I do write with AI, but I didn't know it was like so popular, basically. You know, I didn't know there was so many people trying to do it. But yeah, what we're going to do, by the way, before the end of this stream, I'm not just going to shut off in 10 minutes, even though it might be if we finish, but I'm going to get it to the point where we're going to copy all of this over to a document where it's in one big long thing, right? And then I'll probably just share that document so you can see what the standard is, okay? Because it's all very well and good when you see this kind of thing, but you don't really know what this, you know, what... Because I'll say this now. If there are any problems with continuity or the story flow, whatever, they're easily fixable in a human edit. Like, we're talking, you've never written a book before, and you read it, and you take out stuff that doesn't make sense. It's honestly, it's not even fair to call it editing compared to what editing traditionally is. This is like easy. It's like, scratch this, scratch that. Yeah. But to be honest, and I haven't edited every story I've made with this, but the ones I have, it was like I barely needed to change anything. Actually, I was like, oh, I expected to find loads of repetition, just basically the plot just going off in a direction and then dead ending. I expected to find all kinds of stuff like that. It's all gone. It's all gone. And spoilers. Splatoon Choose Your Own Adventure is in development. So, yeah, get ready for that. Choose Your Own Adventure? Think about it. I'm writing it backwards. So at any point in the story, we could just say, just rewrite from there. Rewrite from here. Player made a choice, went to a different page, different story, different ending. 5 different endings, 10 different endings. AI just does it all. Dude. Oh, man. It's making me excited to start writing again because, you know, you have this system that can emulate your world like a video game, right? And then it's just like watching GTA 5 characters walk around in the city. You didn't have to really, do you know what I mean? They kind of just do it, and then stuff just happens. You know, like emergent gameplay. This is emergent narrative, emergent storytelling. It's such a strange thing to say, emergent storytelling, but it kind of is, because you gave it the rules, you gave it all of the detail, and now it's stuck in a box of that. And yeah, like I said, AI is really good at resolving abstract connections or abstracted connections between things, relationships. And so it's good at saying, it's good at guessing what happened before the thing you show it. So it's like a little trick. Choose your story is the new black, says Fernicar. No, honestly, I think if I get narrative Splatoon, it'll be CYA. It's kind of hard. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a completely different name. Do you know what I mean? But it's going to be the same tech, same system. You'll be able to port all of your artifacts over like a folder and just use it with this new... It'll be a new agent, basically, a new repo. All in good time. So now we're going to do page... that's a point, because remember, you've customized this for your thing, so make sure to copy it so you don't have to edit it every time. So 1 and 1. There we go. But yeah, I think, because like I said, I really enjoyed the Choose Your Own Adventure books. Did my MCP get approved? I think so, yeah. Only thing is, yes, it did get approved. The only thing is, something broke. I think I have to reinstall mine. Let me have a look here. Yeah, look, see, Deep Lucid's busted. These are both busted. Do you know what I mean? So something happened. This isn't even the same one that they would... The one that people like is the transcription tools one. So I don't even have that installed right now. I'll cover that on a different stream. Maybe we'll look at it tomorrow. But yeah, people are actually using it. It's nice to see. Okay, let's go. So at the moment, it's being nice to us, and it's only giving us inner thoughts for the detective, which is quite in line with a noir. So... But again, remember, if you back up your story before each big stage, I would always back up the story every time before running anything. Because if it gets squirrely, you can go back. Now there is a backup. See here at the beginning of the prompt, you can click restore, and it will restore all the files before anything was changed. But I have had that not work, so I wouldn't rely too much on this, just in case it doesn't work. It is nice, but you want to have some kind of other backup going on. Like maybe you zip up all of the pages before you do another prompt. That's what I've been doing. And then obviously you can just, you know, when you make progress, you can delete the old backups that don't matter anymore. What trick did Claude use to solve the dandelion word? That's a good question. I think that we'll have to do a prompt and ask. We'll have to do a prompt and ask. He's editing at the moment, so I don't want to look. Let me have a look and see if we can check manually. Ah, yeah, that's right. It's on the D. D4. Story. Right. Look at this. Page 1, guys. Page 1. Page 1, yeah? Okay. So, generally speaking, what I do is I leave it like this. But when I want to do an analysis, what I'll do is I will just open up a Google page, you know, like what's it called? Docs. Just open up a Google Docs. Blank doc. We'll call it like, I've forgotten the name of the guy now. Detective. Let's just call it Detective, because I'm like, you know, Die Hard man. And then generally I'll go 1 and give it an H3 just so it comes up here. 1, 2. Line, page break, controlled enter. And then, you know, keep going, basically. 2. Make that an H3. Control Alt 3, you can do it, if you can remember that. Have you finished yet? Nah, he's still... I'm just going to keep going because I can replace the sections quite easily. And all it's doing is adding in the narrative here. Oh, hang on, he's nearly finished, look. Bless him. Is he finished? Yeah, he's finished. Okay, so... obviously I can continue copy-pasting this and going through all the pages again. I'm hoping that I've showed that now. But let me show you something else. Okay. Plan. So this is an interesting one. I'm going to give it a special condition. So I'm going to say like this. Please use the review function from @holographic tutor with my story story. The folder. Yeah? /story, the folder. So that's everything inside of it. So you don't have to name every single file, okay? All right. With my story, in particular, please give your insight on the subject of dandelion as it relates to this storyline. All right, now this will be done at a university degree level. Okay, so while he's thinking about that, Project Dandelion features brilliantly as both a literal plot device and a literal metaphor within cyberpunk noir. The name itself is revealed to have deliberate significance in page 6, not for the weed's resilience, but for how its spores spread, carried by the wind to infect new territory. This naming convention perfectly encapsulates the weapon's design to disperse through ventilation systems, its microscopic particles drifting through crowds before activating. The dandelion imagery creates a powerful thematic resonance throughout the narrative, as a symbol of insidious spread and contamination, like dandelion seeds on the wind, as something that appears harmless but has devastating impact, as a reminder of nature corrupted by corporate technology. Project Dandelion serves as the central mystery driving your detective protagonist's investigation. The revelation of its true nature unfolds gradually. Spoilers! That's what it reveals. But this is a review. This isn't even the report. So, write the review in a report as a new file in .md format. So I'm going to add that to the plan. You can do that. You don't have to go @ You can add more stuff to your plan. I recommend it. Okay, and go. So we're going to make it write a whole new document with just the review. University creative writing perspective. Okay, so this is like you've got a tutor, you're at a university, you've got a creative writing, not maybe a professor, but someone with a degree who's on staff to help you. Now here's the first question. How long will it take him to read your entire draft? Will he even read your entire draft? Is he invested in giving you a good answer? You know, do you have good rapport with this guy? Is it 3 a.m.? All of these things mean you've got to wait. But with AI, you can have it now. It can give you suggestions now. So by the time you get to actually hand in, you've already refined it like 50 times. It's bulletproof. Okay. So as you can see, it's given us a very detailed review. Okay. Now it will give us some criticism as well. But actually, he's just telling me how great a job he did. The more I read it, he's like, it's like critical assessment. Yeah, I did a pretty good job, didn't I? Says the AI that wrote it all. It's really funny. He's like marking his own homework. So Project Dandelion functions as an exceptionally effective narrative device that transcends simple plot mechanics to become a central metaphor for the story's themes. The botanical name creates immediate cognitive dissonance, using something natural and familiar to represent something unnatural and horrific that resonates throughout the narrative. The symbol's effectiveness stems from its multiple layers of meaning, literal plot function to metaphorical significance, all while maintaining believability within the story's established world. This multi-layered approach to symbolism demonstrates sophisticated narrative craft and elevates the work beyond genre conventions. I mean, I don't know. Read it? Do you know what I mean? Read it? I'm going to read this tonight. Okay? I'm going to read this tonight and see if he's gaslighting us. Because sometimes he is, right? Sometimes he's just gaslighting. But right now, this second, I need to finish putting all of this stuff in. Where is it? Back there, here. I need to add the remaining inner monologues. That's what I need to do right now, because I want to put up an example of what it actually looks like. You know what I mean? It's all theory and watching. You can't really read it. It's not on the screen long enough, right? So I want to actually put up the story, which is like fully realized, and it's hard to say finished because I'm not going to edit it. That's the difference. I'm not going to edit it. So then you know what to expect to be working with. You know what I mean? Because yeah. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. And then you can go out and tell the greatest stories that were ever told. That's the plan. Just realised there's no point because I just added a narrative to this bit, right? So, oh my god, look how many pages that was. What? Yeah, the text size is too big. What is this? It's on size 11. Right, hang on, let's just go to the top and then page down till the bottom. Oh my god. Delete all that. Right. So, 0, 1. There. Go. 3. And you know what's weird though? This is actually 0. So let's just sort that out. Hello. Yeah. And then this is actually 1. Oh man, it gets rid of the heading. What are you doing? Hey. Do you know what? Sizes needs to be like 9. It's probably even still too big. Can we change this to something else as well? Something else, something cool. So Bit crazy. Nanito. Roboto. Seems like it's a little bit bigger, but we'll call it. What was the name of those things? Sunflowers, marigolds, tulipies, dandelions. Couldn't even remember the name of the book. This just cracks me up. Oh dear. Alright, so 3. Do you reckon he's finished writing page 3 by now? Let's have a look in the door. Hello? I haven't even started yet. Good stuff. Wait a minute. No, that's okay. That's okay. It's okay. Oh, crap. Keep going. Yeah, page 3. Heading. Yeah, it's supposed to be a 2. There. Ah! Okay, so 2. Okay, and then this one is going to be 3. And this one is 4. And then this one is 5. And we've nearly run out of numbers. Six. Yes. Okay, so we've got the basic structure. And the joke is, I'm not even doing this to produce anything. I'm doing this just to do analysis on it, guys. It'll make sense when we get there. Right, we want a Roboto. Oh, Roboto Serif, eh? Let's try that one out. It's a little bit... 8. That's supposed to be italicized. So it looks like I've got to find things in italics and actually italicize them. Wait. Oh my god, there's italics in the paragraph. No way. That's super cool. Grandfather to... Wow, look at that. That's crazy. I actually can't wait to read this to see how bad it is. Because I'm expecting it... Because it's experimental, right? But I'm encouraged by what I've seen so far. I just call it dandelion. So anyway, yeah, so I have to go through and like actually highlight. I've got to go through and italicize. But what's that? Is that really a big job? No, it's not a big job. You could probably write a batch script that does it somehow. I don't know. I'm not even thinking about that right now. But yeah, so I select that, go like that, and then it's doing page 2. We are at 5 cents. That's 5 cents. What about good seeds? Dandelion seeds? Bad dandelion seeds. That's what this whole plot's about. Yeah, I mean, this is why you need to back up your work so that if you get a bad seed, you can just re-roll the page for that task. This is why, really, if you really care about what you're writing, you need to read it. See, what I'm going is I'm going really fast to show the steps, but there's all types of reading and of your work before you continue. Do you know what I mean? That's just my opinion. I don't want to tell you how to do stuff because we're living in a strange period where there is no wrong way to do it, as long as you get results that you enjoy. Isn't that right? There isn't really a wrong way of doing it. It's all new. You know what I mean? People are constantly coming out with new ways of doing it, which get better and better all the time. So it's hard to say that whatever process people do is wrong. I'd say it makes different results. Yeah, new paradigms, exactly. Let's just erase that. So page 2, we're going to go on to page 3. You guessed it. Oh, wait a minute. How did that get in my copy buffer? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I just trust the process because I can't go changing too many things at once, right? So I just trust the process, and then if it's bad, I'll refine my process. That's all I can do. And then as it gets more complicated, it gets more powerful and more accurate. The missing piece, which I haven't shown, is that when you've finished a story, you have to compress that story back into your project, because otherwise the next story you're writing isn't aware of the story you just finished. You know, it's not hard. You just need to update your project instructions to include the events of the story that you finished, right? So that then the characters are aware of the events. Now you've got chronology, right? So it's just an extra step, updating your project files with the events of the book that you actually finish. It's not a huge deal, but obviously it makes a world of difference if you do it. Let's go. A mersynth? What's a mersynth? Is that like a robot mermaid? A mersynth. I don't know, maybe it's the name of a company. I haven't read the book yet. Because it literally comes up with stuff and then goes backwards. So it's like, I know how the story ends. I don't know how the story begins. It's kind of like the opposite. Because when you're reading a book, you might know how the story begins as you read it. And you don't know how it ends. But then the weird thing is that when you're writing with this system, you have the opposite relationship to the story than the reader. Because the reader doesn't know how it ends, but you don't know how it started. Which I kind of find interesting. It's a little bit like, what are they called? Chain letters? No, not a chain letter. A chain story? Like when everyone passes the narrative down and everyone adds a line, and then by the time it gets to the end, it's like crazy and ridiculous. That's the challenge that we're up against here. So it's not like a small challenge. It's not like a new challenge, you know. The idea of Chinese whispers is well known, well documented. But we're doing it backwards with AI. The unavoidable chain of events, says Fernicar. Yep, timeline. Maybe I should have called this timeline, not narrative spittoon inversion. That's a better name. It's a way better name for this. Just call it timeline. The thing is that even though it's a better name, there's loads of stuff called timeline. So that's why I went with spittoon inversion. So once this is done, we've got 3 more pages. Unless it breaks. It can sometimes screw up. Oh, he's thinking again. The cruel irony of that slogan while float folk drown in their own liquefied brain matter. Whoa! Hard hitting. Love it. Poor old float folk. Who are the float folk? I guess they're like the poors with the beer and the flooded homes. The really poor people in this world live under the waterline. Did you notice no more red Klein API text? Yeah. I don't know what was going on earlier. It was being a bit weird. I think it's just maybe it was busy or something. I don't know. Tell that to the death certificate. Whoa! I can't wait to read this. Then this is a short story as well. See, that's what I can already write novels. I'm chasing short stories with this tech. Because it's like the ability to compress all of that and get your full story in the smallest, you know what I mean? Oh, man. Because I want to do short story compendiums. And you can't do that if AI is writing a full novel every time. This gets a bit silly. The edit time is less on a short story as well. So, see, laziness is driving my motivation again. I can write a whole story, but it's too long to edit. Make them shorter. A good seed story. This one may be it. Yeah, we've got a couple actually. There's three stories I'm working on at the same time. Because you can. You just have 3 separate installations of the spittoon and you customize each one with that world. And now that one makes those stories. Real simple stuff. Couldn't be easier. Right, so we've done that one. So let's do the next one. We've already done page 3. It's time for page 4. Nearing the end. You'll probably go wrong now. Do you know what I mean? One of those funny things is like, you know, when you're like trying to get something done and it's going well, you get to the last page and then it starts erroring out. You're like, oh man, what's going on? Come on, man. I ain't got time for this. Look at this. Concern for the wet feet victims. I love the lore of this world. It's just all about how flooded. Their whole society is based on how much, on like where you are versus the waterline. Look, you look like a bubbler waiting to happen. Maybe you should ride the tide on this one. It's all like, because they live in a flooded city, there's so many puns. Oh my god. So many puns. Poor guy has to drink synthetic whiskey, feels. And what is a bubbler? So the implication of this, you look like a bubbler waiting to happen. That implies that a bubbler is something bad which bubbles for a bit and then something bad happens. I dread to think. What's the name of the organism that penetrates the leg skin of the wet feet? Oof, that's a parasite, mate. That's a nasty parasite. They live in lakes in Africa. Yeah. It's able to detect a human at 500 meters and then it can swim at like some insane speed. And it literally leaves its whole body behind when it gets you. It like injects itself into your skin and leaves its body behind. It's insane. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, don't go in the water. Does my world mention one? I don't know. I think the only organism in this right now is the dandelion stuff. It's like a bioweapon. So I don't know if you saw like a glimpse of something. Look, people are dying. More will die if dandelion moves to full production. Love it. See, if you weren't here for that part, we gave it this as a suggestion from the chat to make it about like a bioagent called Dandelion. Does your world mention one in it, or the AI could create one? Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I would have added stuff like that in earlier than now. You know what I mean? It's the story's written at this point. Now we're just sort of polishing it, really, because it was a rough cut. So we gave it a first polish with the upscale, and then now we're just being tricky. So I'm adding in inner thoughts for our main character. That's what we're doing. So it's sort of like there are other things that you could do, right? There are certainly other things that you could do. Like I said, like, you know, making the script, making the screenplay, these different asset type processes. We could add a narrator, even though I don't think you need to if you've got inner thoughts. I think that's almost the same thing. But you could do a narrator, do you know what I mean? There's also other prompts as well. I keep adding them. Better add them at the beginning in the lore. Yeah, exactly. You want to... It's always best. Like, here, do you know what? When you make a cake... and you want chocolate chip, if you don't put it in before you throw it in the oven, it's a bit too late. Like, yeah, you could put it on the icing. Do you know what I mean? You could put the chocolate chips in the icing, but really you needed to put them in the cake mix at the start. And I think the same thing is for true for stories. You can add stuff later or in the edit or whatever. That's like the icing on the cake, you know what I mean? But some stuff has to be actually... in the jam, in the cake mix, before you bake it, right? I think that's just natural. Am I inclined to avoid a narrator? No. But like I said, because this is a detective noir story, I'm thinking that having inner thoughts instead of a narrator makes sense. What about the stories that merge the protagonist and the narrator in one without inner thoughts? Yes. Yes. That's fine. See, this is the thing. Because I've gone with inner thoughts, and because I think it fits really well with that sort of detective noir genre, I've decided not to bother with a narrator on this one. Do you know what I mean? Because in a way, the inner thoughts of the main character are a bit like a narrator, only the difference is he's only aware of what he's aware of at the time, whereas the narrator is aware of everything, but then can't tell the characters. You see the difference? It's almost the same thing, though. A narrator and an inner thought is almost the same thing in the mechanics of it. It's just a question of who knows what, and you know what I mean? But it's kind of interesting to hear the thoughts of the detective when he doesn't really know. I didn't really know what was going on. I was puzzled. And you're like, oh yeah, okay. It's more effective to hear it from him than it is from a narrator in this context. Alright, so we've done page 4. Let's get page 5 done. We're going all the way on this one, guys. I could have just gone like, and then you finish the book. But we're gonna finish the book though. And then I'll chuck it all into a document. So what are we on now? Page 5? Alright. Let's let him cook and I can start editing. Go for it. So I can add the italics later. Do you know what I mean? Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Are we working on page 4 right now? Are we already on 5? We're on 5. There we go. Whiteout. Can we get a dark mode? Google. The Mersynth Research Facility. Right, okay, so it is like... They are... No larger... What? The device. No larger than my palm. Was a marvel of pre-flood craftsmanship. Whoa, I didn't think... That hit different for some reason. Pre-flood, they call it. Oh, man. Mersynth's building base. The fog. Man, we should do another fog pass. Add more fog. Fernicar, do you play with the reader's perception in a specific theme, motif, or genre? You can. But you want to build that into your ghostwriting style. Yeah, build it into your ghostwriting style. So if you remember, there were project artifacts. and in my default you'll see there is one called ghostwriting style, so you can add it here. I don't know if is that legible. Can you read that? So you can add additional rules here to play with perception, audience perception and stuff. Literally, it's just a question of adding it in. I've got to do the next page. Pause the screen, I guess, if it's if you're still reading. Next, final page. Ah, crap! I need to copy the thing again. So this will be the last action. I want to do page 6. Go. Off we go. This is the last page. Okay, while it's doing that, I will get the other thing done, so get rid of that. Oh lol, that was the thing I needed. Ha! It's doing 6 in it, yeah, so we can get page 5. There we go. Just need the last page and the analysis is done. Well, you know, draft. You could call it a draft, right? Yeah. Off topic, I can't escape numbers. Excel is a must for me. I've noticed you avoid spreadsheets very well. Don't say that, they'll start appearing. That's how you get spreadsheets. You don't talk about the first rule of no spreadsheet club is you don't talk about no spreadsheet club. No, my life is haunted by tables, which are basically the same thing, but even more annoying to use. They're like lots of tiny spreadsheets, and I hate them. But look, it's the only way you can display numbers, right? So what are you going to do? Suppose we could go back to the white and black marbles, right? That's the old way, right? Go back to the abacus. But yeah, I mean, you could go to the jungle way of doing it, you know, one, many, more. Or, sorry, that, many, more, many, many. Oh, we're nearly at the end. I can see the end. The end's in sight. I keep swimming. Oh. Dandelion. And I called it why they called it dandelion. Dandelion. Wait, what are you doing? Why are you still writing? You finished. What are you doing? Oh, he had to add just that last thought at the end. Just that last thought. What's it say? He's going to start a workshop with the neighbourhood kids and teach them to repair what's broken rather than just staying afloat. But tonight at least I'd keep swimming. That's really weird. It's really cool. It's a really cool way to end it. But it's a bit weird. Maybe tomorrow I'd finally build something that floats. It's funny. Wistful. Put the story in the Discord. Yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to link it. So all I need is to grab the finished final... Oh, crap. The finished final page without erasing it. And chuck that in there. And here we have it. So we'll go share, copy link. Now we want to do anyone with the link. Copy link. Done. And then we go to Generales. Go to the Writers Club. From tonight. From scratch, no edits. This is... I don't even say anymore. I've said everything I need to say. So yeah, have a look at it. Have a read. See the mistakes it makes. Okay? So, last thing, and this is like, we've worked so hard to get to this point. Word count. There you go. That is a respectable short story. 46 pages, 29,000 words, 194,000 characters. Yeah? That's a respectable short story, my guys. I actually think we could make it shorter than this. We could probably do like a fucking 2-page story. I mean, look, I want to give enough pages for the story beats. So I think the minimum is probably 4, actually. Probably 4 pages. Because it's hard to... Say you want to do the hero's journey, it's going to be hard to fit all the story beats into just four spots. Yeah, I'm sure it can do it though. So I wouldn't go below 4 actually. I think 4 between. That's why I chose 6. I remember now. So between 4 and 6 is probably the sweet spot. So I reckon if you start at page 5. And go back to 0, that's 6. Technically what I just did was 7. So I could make it smaller without changing the math too much. So there it is, guys. Dandelion. A full story. Full short story. Oh, we can make it shorter. Hang on. 8. Roboto. What the crap? Right then. So obviously I need to go through and italicize the thoughts, okay? But aside from that, hopefully what we've got here is a complete storyline. Right. There it is. I would say it's 41 pages, but one, I don't know. These are actual pages. Yeah, 41 pages. Okay. So it's gotten shorter because I did the formatting. Yeah, 41 pages, 30,000 words. Okay. Man, this is going to be fun. All right, then. It is now 11:30. Thank you all for sticking around. We've done like a really long writer's room workshop type thing tonight, which was awesome. I had a great time creating this story and showing you how to do it. I hope you have loads of fun creating stories with your own assets. There it is. If we looked at the total cost here before I disappear, so 17p, 23p, that's 50, 27, that's $1. That's another $1. That's $2. 15, 14, 21, 25. That is $3. And then we wrote the story in reverse for 1.5. So it's cost me $4.50, which is less than a cup of coffee. I had a great time doing it. Thank you for all the suggestions. As I say, if you want to give that story a read over a cup of coffee, you will find it in the LLM Writers Club. Link is in the description. I'll even pin it so that it's easy to find in case it takes you a while to get there. Alright guys, thank you very much. I'll be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Watch out for announcements because the reason for the lateness is because I'm doing contract work. Okay, so sometimes I gotta get the stuff done every day. So yeah. So if I see you at 7, that means I bossed it and it's all done. So yeah, 7 p.m. guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.